Just need to go to the shelter that for some reason is across the compound.
For some reason.
Why? Oh yeah, why we would keep it there? Who knows?
I'm also running Linux, by the way. So, oh no, she said Unix. She didn't say Linux, did she?
Right.
She said Unix.
I know this. It's the least efficient version of this operating system possible. You have to wait for it to render the picture. So.
Oh boy, good times.
Man, that movie's great. Jurassic Park is awesome. I read the book again, and it had been like 15 years since I last read the book.
I got about halfway through it and got distracted by tinsel. But,
it's so different.
It is.
The lawyer is the hero of that book.
Very different.
Doesn't that make sense, though? Because isn't Michael Crichton a lawyer?
I mean, was he? Probably. Michael Crichton now, no.
No, not now.
Wah, wah.
How did he die anyway?
I want to say cancer. I want to, but now we're all gonna check. Michael Crichton. All
right. All right.
Man, the man was married 5 times. Man,
the man lived a life. He
was married 5 times.
He kept picking until he got it right. Not you. Not you.
Or until he died, anyway.
Well, yeah.
I forgot he was involved with ER too. Man.
Yeah.
Yeah, I totally forgot that was.
I don't even think I knew that. So there we go. He was a writer. He started what was his
medicals? He wrote the first episode and was like a producer or something.
I'm scrolling back up right now. Crichton was a creator and executive producer on the television drama ER, based on his 1974 pilot script, 24 Hours. Steven Spielberg helped develop the show, serving as the executive producer on season 1 and offering advice.
Didn't he write Andromeda Strain as well?
Yeah.
In 1994, Crichton achieved the unique distinction of having the #1 movie, the #1 TV show, and the #1 book all at the same time. With Jurassic Park, ER, and Disclosure. I don't know if I read Disclosure.
What was Disclosure about?
No idea.
That was the one where Michael Douglas, it was like reverse sexual harassment.
Oh.
Demi Moore was the one going after him. And in the movie, he's like halfway through and he's like, he sees his reflection in the mirror and he's like, you know what? No, we're going to end this in the middle and I'm going to walk away and blame you.
Okay, I forgot about that movie.
Yeah.
That would not hold up today, I'm assuming. We'd watch that and just say no.
Just it's burn it's not it didn't portray it as like there's anything ironic about this. It's just here's the story. Yeah, it wouldn't go over too well as far as like.
Then again, what would?
Studios saying, "Hey, let's pick this one up because this is what the times are really telling us should be happening right now."
So you're not going to finance a remake of Disclosure, is what you're saying?
I don't know.
That's kind of what I'm hearing right now. I don't know that. Okay.
We've actually
withdrawn. We're live
from negotiations.
Wait, I just got an email. We're live.
We are live.
And
we're doing it live.
You're all fired from your respective jobs. So.
Wow. Okay. Well, does it help if I'm on leave today? Is that
whatever jobs those may be?
I mean, I was on leave today too. So, and I still attended 3 meetings. So.
Actually, I wasn't on leave. Well, it's funny. Yeah, the days I was on leave, I did at least 2 or 3 because you can't stay away because no one cares.
It just ultimately hurts me if I.
Yeah, if you're not in the know, it's like, well, I better catch up. So, yeah.
So
anyway, yeah. Who am I again? What's today?
I haven't done this in a week.
This is in a week. 2 weeks. It's yeah. This is GameEnthus podcast episode 386. It's also Thursday, August 22nd. I know I threw the date in there somewhere, but it doesn't matter. Anyway, I'm Aaron, one of the hosts here. Tiny is here.
I am here. How are you doing, sir?
I'm doing all right. Mike is here.
Yeah, checking in.
All right. Good to have you back, man. And clearly the same.
Where was I?
Yeah, exactly. You were in the ether, as you often are. And also, speaking of good to have someone back, Lou is joining us once again. Welcome back, Lou.
Hey, well, thanks for having me back. I'm glad to be here. At least as of now, I'm glad to be here. We'll see how the night goes.
Excellent.
That sounds like a
good
challenge
way
to me,
look at
Lou.
it.
I don't know.
Always wise. Always.
So for those who don't know you, Lou, you want to give us go give them a quick quick summary on how much you like black and white movies and sepia pictures, all that kind of good stuff.
Right, yeah, long walks on the beach.
Yeah, the usual.
A good Bloody Mary to start the day, all those things, right?
To end it.
I thought this is the deep dive. I thought we were getting into who we really are.
The serious stuff.
No, I'm Lou, and I'm here mostly because I know Tiny.
Mhm.
I'm also kind of sort of maybe known as Hero by Clicking on the interwebs, but of late people probably seen me around supporting and working for Extra Life. I'm the current director of community for Extra Life at Children's Miracle Network Hospitals, and I get to help tens of thousands of people raise millions of dollars each year for local children's hospitals in North America. And that really honestly takes up like 99% of my life, aside from, being like a family guy. So we'll be interested to see what I actually get to talk about tonight beyond just work. I promise I wrote some stuff down that I've done that's not like working, but that's what I do. That's who I am.
Cool.
Gotcha.
So I see, speaking of things you've written down, I see you have PAX West listed there. I guess you'll be attending?
Yeah. So next week, Extra Life will be there at PAX West at the Washington Convention Center in Seattle, Washington, with like probably something like 80 to 100,000 people or some crazy nonsense of the most dedicated fans in the industry. I like PAXs. I really do like PAX. I especially like PAX West because I really like Seattle. And it also, for us as an organization, it's kind of when things really start to ramp up. People start getting really psyched for raising funds and getting prepared for game day. Even though you can play anytime you want, most people do really like to play for game day, and people are there. They're there to really pay attention to what we have to do, which is absolutely amazing considering we share that space and that convention with Child's Play, which is the Penny Arcade's charity. So it's just it's a great place to be. The folks in Seattle are awesome. And I know Tiny's like, when are you gonna come to Philadelphia? And I'm like,
I didn't say a word. I didn't say a word.
It's your
about,
subtext.
About how PAX West only does like really 60,000 people because they can't fit anyone else in that environment.
Right.
And Boston does 80,000, and now
84.
we have the whole Philadelphia Convention Center. I'm just saying,
is it Philadelphia Convention Center or is it Pennsylvania Convention Center?
To people outside of here, it doesn't really matter. So it's on Arch Street. That's all that really matters to anyone.
All right. Well, can I finish? Can I finish?
Can you finish? I didn't say a word.
I know. No, I brought the attention to myself, obviously. No, but we'll be there. We have some really cool things. We're teaming up with our friends at Control Freak for a scavenger hunt. We'll have a really awesome panel discussion talking about influencers and micro influencers and storytelling in the charity gaming space, and then we might even have something really cool that I can't really talk about just yet because it's not quite ready. But we'll unveil something really neat.
Are you bringing the crane game to PAX West? Is that what?
No. Shh. No, we're not doing that.
I love that I heard it talked about on Giant Bomb, and they had no idea who was running it.
Even though it was
literally branded everying
everywhere,
and they're like, "Oh,
that was you."
Like I was like, "Oh, weird." Speaking of, you're on that panel. Who do you? I mean, I know at least one other friend of the show is on that panel. Who are your co-panelists?
Yeah, so on the panel will be moderated by the only Ryan. It's no big surprise. He's such a wonderful moderator and friend to Extra Life. We'll also have DJ Knights, content creator and good buddy, and also Extra Life ambassador. Tanya DePass will also be on the panel. Mallory Lore from Discord. Tanya DePass is the founder of I Need Diverse Games, if you didn't know that.
She would be who I was referring to for friend of the show.
Awesome. No,
So-
yeah. Tanya's an awesome.
She's good people.
So Mallory Lore from Discord, John Brents from Twitch, me. I think I'll be on that panel, and then also Eric Blandon from Child's Play.
Okay.
Yeah.
Very cool.
Yeah, it should be a lot of fun.
Gotcha. And okay, so that's PAX West, and you have some mysterious thing you can't tell us about. Blah blah.
I'll tell you about it.
So then, what is the Lou and Lou show? Because that's what you also have listed on the.
Oh yeah.
What is this? Also, what is Extra Life? I guess if I'm going to do things I don't know.
We're going back. Okay.
Let's pull it back. If nobody's listened to any of the episodes or anything that Tanya has ever done, or
what is a charity?
Okay. Yeah. What is charity? What are video games? So Extra Life is a way for gamers to play games and raise money for the local children's Miracle Network hospitals. For the most part, it's very DIY, but a lot of us get together each year and have a video game marathon in the fall where we stay up way too long, ask friends and family for donations, and all that money stays at our local children's hospital. So what the Lulu show is, it's not the Lou and Lou show because that's ridiculous.
I'm sorry. I apologize.
It's the Lulu show with my counterpart in Canada, Lucibel Tan, and she essentially manages the program for our Canadian hospitals. And we've really, it's kind of, they've elevated that position at CCHF in Canada, and we've really connected and really been growing the program for the community at large. But we really like the idea of having a touch point for the community where we could go on, we can talk about upcoming news, we can hit upon some key best practices, so we have some evergreen content that we can share with the community as we roll into game day. So the last Lulu show was about how the best practices to share what you're doing for Extra Life. So we showed people how to connect their participant accounts to Facebook and Twitter, how it's easy to send messages to your social media platforms through the web app as well as the mobile app, and how to connect your account, how to connect your participant page to the Twitch extension if you use Twitch as a platform for streaming.
Gotcha. Very cool.
Yeah.
So cool. And that was the last one was recorded. Wednesday.
Wednesday. Yeah.
What day is
on
it?
Wednesday.
So cool. Well, good stuff. Is there anything else you want to share? Because I know you said you wanted to share stuff that wasn't work related, and then went on to share two things that were 100% work related.
Okay, so I lied. I mean, really, that's all I had a birthday this week, so I celebrated my 42nd birthday on Monday.
Oh, happy belated.
Happy birthday.
Yeah.
Happy birthday, Lou.
Thanks, guys.
But well, cool. Okay, well then on that, if that's all you want to share right now, I mean, feel free to jump in. But Mike, what have you been up to?
So I finally had a reason to listen to the Endgame spoiler cast from 6 months ago, whatever.
Whatever it was, yeah.
Yeah.
When Tracy made her debut.
Yes.
So that was fun. And can you guess the reason?
You saw Endgame?
I finally watched, and I watched it exactly how I wanted to over the course of 2 nights because that movie is too long.
3 hours.
Yeah. I know we're getting older, but I mean,
it's like at some point, an hour and a half's gone by, and I'm just like,
you're halfway there.
I could be doing other things.
I didn't even.
That's always the case.
Yeah, I didn't even know. Like, I was there, and like you're suddenly at where Rhodey comes over the thing, and like, or Falcon comes over and says like, "Oh, on the left," and I'm like, "This is a great."
Okay, but BC Turf just said something that's true. He said the first half is kind of slow. That is
100%.
That is true.
Like, didn't expect the time jump. So also, it's now on.
It
video,
makes up for it, but it is a little slower.
Right, and none of this was spoiled for me. I mean, look, whatever. For anybody else hasn't seen it, who was in my shoes and still hadn't got around to it, but still is interested, then I don't need to say much. But I mean, overall, I guess I enjoyed it. But I also feel like at this point, other than maybe a Guardians 3, I don't think I care. I think I'm good.
Oh.
Spider-Man.
You can just sit.
Spider-Man's pretty good.
Spider-Man is pretty good.
Yeah,
Man.
okay.
Far From Home was pretty good,
and then
it closes out the.
I'm not saying I won't watch it if I have the opportunity. I'll watch, but it's like,
you'll wait 3 years and then watch it on some idle Wednesday. No, I understand.
Yeah, sure, whatever.
So.
Like when I watched Thor 2 or Iron Man 3, it was finally like, well, I guess I could stare at the walls.
Lou has thoughts.
Thor 2, huh? That was the worst of.
That's what I mean.
Okay.
I wait. Like I don't watch those in order. It's just, well, I'll come back around to them eventually.
Yeah, I kind of felt like that. Like Thor 2 and Iron Man 3 were kind of. I mean, they were filler. They weren't. They were afterthoughts for.
Especially because one of the main characters of Iron Man 3 showed up in Endgame, and everybody's like, "Who the hell is that?
Who's that kid?" He's like,
that's because
I didn't know.
He was so much older.
He was, but
I didn't know who he was. I was like,
standing there, like, why should we have any idea? Why
should be holding up a sign? I'm the kid from Iron Man 3.
From Iron Man 3
would be something.
Though on the other hand, and so this obviously a tangent, but I also just realized that the guy who plays Jughead on Riverdale is the same kid that was in like Sweet Life of Zack Cody 10 whatever years ago.
Like what? Like
he's one of the twins. Yes.
Oh.
I have no idea up until last night. So, like, I was watching another movie and it came up on IMDb when I was looking up, like,
wasn't Luke Perry on that show?
He was Archie's dad up until he
did
passed
they
away.
like write him?
Well,
off
he passed away post them doing the recording the season. So, like, let's put it this way: if I have to guess, Molly Ringwald is Archie's mom. She's going to be a lot more on the show.
Molly Ringwald is Archie's mom.
Yes,
that's a trip.
John Cryer is the principal. Judd Nelson is the PE teacher. Like, what are we doing?
I have turned multiple people onto Riverdale. It is a dumb
Emilio
show.
Estevez is the crazy old man with a cane.
The first season of Riverdale is just a TV friendly version of 13 Reasons Why. But like once you get past that, like it is the dumbest fun show you'll watch. Archie's facing off against cults that are like using D&D ripoffs to get kids hooked on pop rock drugs.
Is this really any more far-fetched than what the comics already kind of did that I just don't know that they did because I keep thinking of how, saccharine
it is no more far-fetched than when Archie meets Predator.
Okay,
or The Punisher.
Well, it's set in the same universe as Sabrina, which had a recent reboot, which we really enjoyed. We really had a lot of fun.
Yeah.
It looked kind of scary. I mean, like not,
It was dark. Like it had some dark stuff. It was kind of like, step back, Buffy. We got you, and it's dark and fun.
When they killed Melissa Joan Hart in the first episode, I was like, wow, they're not playing.
Right.
So, right. And now it's a shame. I thought it was going to be, but there's a Nancy Drew show coming out, and I thought it was going to be in like the same universe because essentially all Archie really is, Riverdale really is like, we're investigating murders and whatnot.
Isn't that what Veronica Mars is for? Which I also don't watch.
But it's not in.
I watched The Good Place though.
So
that's something.
I mean, you've talked about The Good Place, so. I'm surprised you watched The Good Place though, since you weren't so busy rewatching The Office for the 70th time.
Last time we watching Community.
But you can have one screen behind you or off to the side with The Office.
Just always running.
Oh, it's on right now.
Watching The Good Place.
Michael's doing the run for rabies awareness. So yeah,
Anyway,
just one question: did Archie hold his own against a predator, or did he lose his head?
I believe in that one everyone dies.
Oh, good.
I believe there's at least one cover where I think he's holding Jughead with like head with the spine like Mortal Kombat style.
Cool. I want to read this one.
Didn't Batman beat the Predator in a comic book?
He is both beat and then teamed up with the Predator to fight the aliens.
I like Batman. Don't get me wrong.
I mean, he also just did a movie where he teamed up with the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
I need to watch that. Like, now.
And his immediate question wasn't, why are there four giant... I mean, I guess he fights a giant crocodile, so I guess it's not really that weird there are four turtles.
It's funny, since we were talking about Avengers, I guess the Russos did an interview at San Diego Comic-Con, and they were asked, like, what X-Men they thought would survive the snap. And of course, they named the most overrated and overpowered character of all, Wolverine. And it's like, really? How would a healing factor help you?
What kind of a question is that? Who do you think the random odds would affect? I don't know. Nothing about any of the characters would have anything to do with whether they.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I don't know. It's a popularity shield, so it's.
Oh, you mean as writers, who would you have written?
Right.
Away?
It's the Wolverine keeps coming back because he's there's a whole Deadpool kills the Marvel universe where he's like, oh, your superpower isn't super healing or whatever. No, it's that you're popular. Because like at one point, Wolverine was on the new Avengers, the X-Men, his own X-Force team, and having his own adventures all at the same time.
Yeah,
little 5'3" Wolverine taking on the Hulk, which never made any sense to me, but whatever.
I mean, that's why he gets ripped in half in the Ultimates version of that.
Well, good. That makes more sense.
So, but anyway, so this all leads back to that random kid that was. I honestly thought they were going to start introducing this is young Tony Stark. We went back in time.
That's a lot for the end of a movie. I'm just
that's why you just show him, and that's when you start. That's how you start setting up your new time arc that you're going to fight Kang the Conqueror as like the next big villain.
So did anybody get the impression that Pepper actually cared about Tony anymore? Because she seemed to just show up, be like, well, it's my responsibility, but I'm not actually sad about any of this. I don't know.
I thought there was more emotion there.
Given that the actress who plays her somehow does not recollect being in any of these movies, who knows?
Hey, I mean, good for her. She does something to forget.
Apparently, she goes to these premieres and sees people on screen with her and goes, oh, you're in this movie? Like, what? Has the goop gone to your head? Like, what are you doing? Like,
I don't know. It doesn't matter.
You know what? I can't. It's the jade eggs. Anyway,
So yeah, I saw that, and I guess after I decided to watch a little bit more of, I think it's the 5th Transformers.
Why?
Is it?
That's just because it's there.
Is it the Last Night one? That
the
one?
Last Night.
I think that's what it's called.
Yeah, I've stayed away.
I was about to say the Dark Knight, but yeah, the Last Night makes more sense.
I mean, I'm still like only maybe a little more than halfway through it or whatever, but I just learned that apparently, and I don't care. I'm just going to spoil this because this movie's dumb.
Go for it.
Apparently, Earth is Unicron in this movie.
What?
I don't know, but some creature that claims to be Optimus Prime's parent told him that was the case.
The lady, what's her name?
Lady Robotica.
No, she's a Quintesson, isn't she? Isn't Lady Quintesson or something?
I mean,
that's her. I think that's the character's name.
Despite the fact that she doesn't look like a Quintesson at all, I'll accept that follows suit with random like pseudo facts that they pulled from the original G1. They're like, yeah, whatever. There was the word Quintesson, and apparently they claimed to make Transformers. Put it in the script. Go. So I don't know whatever happened, but I mean, like there was some like foreshadowing that earlier on, like horns just started shooting out of Earth in multiple places. You know, like what? This is stupid. I mean, it's stupid anyway, but yeah. Anyway, I'll probably finish it eventually.
It's so labored.
Like I'm just surprised. Like you watch Bumblebee and we're like, this is trash. Like that. Yeah. That's a whole other level of trash. That's
yeah.
But you know that. I mean, it's all good. I mean, you know.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I'm aware.
I know what I'm doing.
That's why it took me years to watch it instead of a year. I don't know. So
let me one sec before you go anywhere. So have you gotten to the part that they no longer have to transform? Like they're just flying cubes in the sky for the new enemies. Hey, you got something to look forward to. It's like
I mean,
they no longer like any of the enemies in that movie no longer transform. About halfway through that movie, they just become flying cubes that then form into like they're no longer transforming between.
I haven't seen it. I've seen a lot of drones that look like Darth Vader's TIE fighter. I don't know why exactly, but they definitely look like, whatever. And for whatever super Star Wars fan you are, forgive me for not knowing what actual his ship is called, but it's the TIE fighter with the curved wings on the side.
Isn't that the TIE Advance?
I don't know.
Whatever.
Okay.
It's called Darth Vader's ship.
It was. Anyway, you know what? Not even going to go down. There's a Retronauts episode that's real interesting about this.
All right.
So,
all right, good.
On X-Wing and TIE Fighter.
Very good. What was your question?
I honestly don't care anymore.
Yeah, all right, fair enough. So this past Saturday, I was sort of like, I was just on the fence about what I was going to do, whether I was go do something that's going to like take the whole day out of the house, or get some tasks done at home. So I wound up working at home. I don't mean work like for work. I mean doing some things I wanted to do, and I was like, all right, I'm gonna start putting some time necessary into doing like the next step needed for the arcade machine, which is what I figured what I'm going to do is sort through all of the wires, because pretty much all of them were too short, so I had to solder in some new ones, splice it in, heat shrink tubing, all that stuff. And the mess of wires is a rat's nest that I did not foresee. So it took way longer to sort through it than I expected to. And then all the soldering work took way longer than I expected to. And time just disappeared. But between that and a couple other things I did, I started working on it at around 9:30, I think, and I stopped somewhere around 10 o'clock that night.
So you worked on it for half an hour? But sorry, it was
okay. I mean, like without stopping, I didn't eat a single thing the whole day. I just kept on going like a lunatic.
Gotcha.
But the end result is the thing is 100% functional now. Everything left is cosmetic, for which there's a lot. I don't mean like stickers. I mean there's like a bunch I need to do to make it not like, this isn't supposed to be exposed. But it was cool. I'm happy with the switches that I settled on, which was microleafs for all the buttons, and then these soft touch things for I forget what they're called exactly, for the joysticks that I use. Now the company that I got all this stuff from, Groovy Game Gear.
It's a nice name.
It's how much weed do they sell?
Oh, I don't know. Been around for a long time.
Is the vaping the majority of their profit? They're like,
listen, they've been around for like over a decade. Like most of the arcade board forums, they'll be like, yeah, buy from this dude. He'll take like a week to like bag stuff up and send it out to you, but dime bags, I mean. But anyway, like the one thing about it is like the website is like really old and seems illegitimate, despite the fact that it's cool. But there's some weird glitchy stuff. Like I'd like to buy some more toppers for the joysticks, because I settled on, I wanted to get the upgraded ball and then a bat, but now I have different ones, so it's like I want a set of each for both, so I can swap them out as I'd like. But I can't seem to figure out a way of ordering just those parts. And the guy
that might be a support.
The one time I've tried emailing him, he just ignored me. Not about this, but about something else. So I don't have high hopes. But I mean, if I have to live with it, I have to live with it. It's not the end of the world. But I do like them. They're called the Omni 2. They're the ones that are completely switchable by a quarter turn twist underneath of the joystick to switch between a 4 and an 8-way. The only thing I don't like is that the 8-way is the Japanese style, where the corners are the hard stops, so you can't spin it in a circle freely, like you're hitting the corners as you go.
Oh, okay.
So it makes for like an uncomfortable spinning pile driver type of move.
I was trying to think, yeah,
I could never pull that off anyway, so yeah.
There's some Street Fighter moves that would be tough on that.
Never worked.
Yeah, so and as a really quick aside, I found this arcade when I was on vacation since the last show. Mm-hmm. They had a version of Street Fighter 2 there that it was some weird modified one. Like, I don't know what, it didn't say what it was.
Wasn't the rainbow version. One?
I was going to say like maybe, Rainbow Edition or whatever.
But the only reason I realized that something was off is because I was able to do a spinning pile driver on somebody and then immediately do another one once I got about a foot into the air, and then another one until I raised.
That sounds like the Rainbow Edition.
Zangief 6 times through the screen before I finally let go, and you'll fall back through all those screens again and again until you finally hit bottom at your original stopping point. And I wish it did multiple, times damage, but it's still just the one. But it looks crazy. But anyway, so I got more to do, but that's the most progress I've had on the thing, and I'm very pleased with most of the ideas that I had because pretty much all of it worked out as well as I had hoped. The thing is ugly. That's not really going to change because I just don't care enough to like rebuild the control panel. It just is what it is, and yeah, hopefully when it's completely done, I can show it off a little bit.
Gotcha.
And the last thing I wrote down here is related to the last show that we did. I mentioned about my car and the trip, and I had to get a wheel bearing replaced, and I was like, cross my fingers that it's all good. Well, it wasn't. The new wheel bearing went bad in 500 miles, which was about how long it took to get to Myrtle Beach. Not get back. So I drove all the way home on a failing brand new wheel bearing, which wasn't as bad as when I took it in the first place, but this one was like a crazy steady vibration the whole way. I'm like, it was stupid. I should have, like, I didn't realize, because once we got there, I really didn't do any driving, and I didn't realize that there was something really wrong until it was there. And I don't know. I should have had somebody down there look at it. But anyway.
But you're on vacation. I mean, that's stressing over that call of how much it's going to be. It's not what you want when you're on vacation.
I tell you, I started reading about what can happen with a failing wheel bearing.
Yeah, you don't want to do that.
A lot of it involved death at 80 miles an hour. So,
but I mean, let me just ask this: is that the same idea as like essentially WebMD? Like everything is cancer. Like no matter what happens, you go Google this, it is always going to end in.
But it's not just like, death. Well, this could happen. It's like, well, the wheel could fly off the car. The caliper could heat up and seize and then just freeze your brakes at 80 miles an hour. Like, there's all kinds of things that could go horribly wrong while it's like, I'm glad I read this after we got home.
I'm glad you made it home. Yeah. So, yeah.
I'm glad I made it home. They're still working on the car. It's going to cost even more still. The first thing was like they considered under warranty, but the second job, something else is going bad. So now they're going to try the whole new assembly. Meanwhile, I'm thinking this car's got 225,000 miles on it. I don't know that I need to be spending any more money. So I went to go test drive a car, and I got in the car, and I'm looking around like, there's nothing in this vehicle other than the steering wheel and the gear shifter that makes any sense to me. I haven't shopped for a new car in 12 years.
Well, okay, well, you have to answer this question. What did you go look at? What were you sitting in?
It was a Mazda 3 because that's one of the few cars that you can still buy with a manual transmission. And
okay.
My Mazda 6 is my daily. I think it's a great car. It's been the best car I've ever owned. It's a manual. I want to keep manual. This is the first year.
Don't you have to pay more for manual now?
No. I mean, well, with the caveat of some manufacturers only offer it on the super upgraded engine or car, so you have to pay for that to get it, but it's always cheaper than an automatic.
I was going to say, yeah, like, well,
actually the opposite. So my Challenger is the basest of base models.
Right.
That's why, because I wanted a manual, and that was the only model they would have.
Yeah. So this is the first year that Mazda stopped putting manual option for Mazda 6, which bummed me out because that's what I kind of figured I was going to buy. So now I'm like, well, do I look at something else or used or just try to keep what I got going for who knows how much longer? But I mean, just to go through it, I was like, well, where's the parking brake? Well, there's a button for that now.
Yep.
What do you mean a button? It's like, well, there's a button to turn it on and off, and there's really specific scenarios for when you can or can't turn it on or off. Like, how is a parking brake a digital option? It's not on or off. There's a gradation of like 15 clicks from off to max. Well, there's a button for that too. There's the hold button. I'm like, what the? All right, whatever. Let's go. And then like in front of me, the miles per hour is just like projected in front of my eyes. I'm like,
oh, on your head, on the heads up display.
Yeah, I was like, what kind of? So, I mean, there was like other things too, like, oh, the key. There is no key anymore.
Oh,
I don't mean just like there isn't even like a key. There's
a
like
fob, right?
There is no option. There, like, if your fob is dead, you cannot make the car go.
Some fobs have like the key in it that can't go in anything.
Well, so
apparently it's like for unlocking the door.
Well,
maybe
you wanna check because the mine has a key in it, and how you access the hole to put the key in, which is like the best I can think of to say, you have to pry out the button, the power button, and underneath there is a ignition switch.
You have to pry out the power button.
I mean, it's cool to have an actual backup.
There is a
committing
piece
to something.
Well, like we've looked at this multiple times, like me and my coworkers, and one's like, "Oh, I really want to do it." I'm like, "No, get the because the moment you do this, it's actually going to break that button, and like I'm going to have to put a key in my car every time I get in, and I don't want to do that."
It shouldn't break it. It should be easily snapped back in.
Yeah,
I don't mean what's actually going to happen. I just mean the way it should have been designed.
Right. Not going to take that chance. But yeah, no, like, yeah, it otherwise, and that's, I believe they phased out that feature. And my car's 5 years old now. So,
yeah, that's what's crazy to me. It's just like in the last few years, things have changed so much. Like I didn't even realize until later. It's like, oh, there was no CD player in that car. Like, really?
Well, I mean, okay.
I don't use mine anymore, but sometimes,
like, yeah, it's the same.
If it gets cold enough,
go buy a computer right now, and you're most likely not gonna have a media drive in it.
Yeah, but you can add one.
You know what I'm hearing? Well, it depends on anyway. You know what I'm hearing all right now? I'm just hearing Asif in the back of my head saying, "You should get a Tesla. Get a Tesla, Mike. No. Mike, get a Tesla."
I mean, when they start costing like $20,000 for a brand new one, maybe. But
how much time do you have?
Yeah. So yeah, speaking of time, I'm like, this is how Rip Van Winkle feels. Like, wake up and what is this world? I don't understand anything.
It's only gonna get better.
It's like I've never felt so old inside of a car in my life.
Gotcha.
So anyway, that saga will continue, but I don't know where it's going right now. Hopefully tomorrow they'll be like, all right, your car's good, and I'll drive it for like a month, and it'll still feel fine.
Hopefully.
And then I won't have to buy a new car for like a couple more years. But anyway, so Aaron, what have you been doing?
So took the oldest back to school, and the middle and the little, I flew them out to my parents for about a week. So the wife and I had some days of no children. So that's wow.
That's glorious.
Isn't it though? It's just like
kids to Camp Krusty, and then you saw the boy on the TV, and
my hair just fell out my stomach. Nah, it was fun. So we saw a bunch of movies, and we went to go see the Scary Stories movie because I grew up reading that stuff. And
that came out,
and you didn't want to subject your children to that.
If the middle one wanted to see it, she could have seen it. But I mean, no. She's very aware of what frightens her. So she's like, no, I don't want to see it. I'm like, that's cool. So we saw it. It was fun. I mean, they did something different where there was one story that tied in all the other ones. So not all, but
Okay.
some of the other ones. So there's one overarching story. Yeah, it was fun. It was a good mid. It wasn't. Some parts were creepy. It wasn't really scary, but I mean, the audience they were going for is PG-13, so they're not trying to really. Well, you think about except like The Grudge, some of the other things are PG-13, but this one was going for a slightly younger audience. So
Gotcha.
I enjoyed it. They kind of set it up for a sequel. I'd like to see it. We'll see what happens. I don't know. I think it's been profitable, but I don't know if it's been profitable enough to justify greenlighting.
I didn't know that movie was out, so I'm gonna.
See, that says a lot about you and where your priorities
apparently,
are.
apparently that does say a lot about me, or maybe it says a lot about that movie. So.
That all right. I remember you said that. So we did things like we mini golf, and we went to a place not too far and made pottery together. And of course, one of the questions I got was, "Did you recreate the scene from Ghost?" And it's like, no, other people were in the room, so no, we did not recreate that scene.
I think that's all the more reason to recreate that scene.
You know what, Lou? You're not wrong. Okay. It's funny. It was a picture of that scene in the corner of the room, so it was like,
oh, we're gonna do it. Okay.
Is there like a button on the table you just push and it plays Unchained Melody?
I was kind of humming it and singing it. I've never used a
pottery wheel?
A pottery wheel before, so it was.
It's a little tricky.
It is, and when the lady would
it
come
can get
over,
away from you.
Was it the electric one, or were you pushing a pedal?
Well,
like
both,
like a bicycle style,
no,
like
no,
you're
no,
creating
no,
your own
no,
force.
Oh
no.
Well, wait, time out. A bicycle? So
No, not like pedal. I mean, like literally, like you're pushing it back and forth to create the momentum, or is it like an accelerator on a car that's hooked up to electricity?
Okay.
It was the latter. It was the latter.
Okay. I was going to say
it didn't get away, so it didn't go flying and blind anybody or anything, so which is good.
It got my eye.
Oh my god!
Okay.
No, it was good, but it's challenging. It's just to get it, just to all the maneuvering and just getting things, because I knew my wife wanted to make a bowl and she made a bowl. I made a cup, which it was a cuppish bowl.
It could hold liquid.
A cuppish bowl.
Just go with the success. It could hold liquid.
There you go.
See, her thing is she wants to, because you do it, you come back in 3 weeks, it's dried, and then you glaze it and you bring it home. So she really wants to eat cereal out of hers. I want to eat tomato soup out of mine. So we all have our goals and things we want to do in our lives. So
gotcha.
Hopefully these things will come together.
I guess I'm gonna say this. When you said you did pottery and then you said like everyone asked you the question, as a single guy, first thing wasn't it went to Ghost. I more thought like, did you go in there and just start breaking pots like Link? Like, were you?
How many rupees?
If Link can do it, I can do it. Okay?
like that's why I was like, that's where I mean, the ghost thing makes sense, but like I was like,
hold it above your head.
That would have been a little bit awkward because the idea is we paid for both of us to have our own clay, have to sit at our own wheels. So if we were, doing a vertical spoon for 2 hours, it might have been, sir, this is a family establishment.
So is it like, did you glaze it, or did they glaze it for you, or something?
We're supposed to come back to do all that stuff. Maybe I don't know. I guess they glaze it. We paint it. We have to come back and get it. So that's.
Did you ask them how many people don't come back?
Right.
Well, actually, they showed us. They said, like, did you see the things outside when you came in? Like, yeah, those are people who left there. So they keep them, I think, for like 6 months, something like that.
Oh wow!
They keep them for a while.
And then they smash
That's a good retention policy.
Exactly. And then they hire a man named Link to smash them, obviously. Like you do. So that was good. What else did we do? For Extra Life for the Baltimore Guild, the hospital treated us to a we had our meeting at Dave & Buster's in the events room, which I didn't know was a thing at Dave & Buster's. I didn't know that an events room existed. It was nice. They had food and everything. We could play games, come back and keep eating, and so it was good times.
Cool.
And
that's great.
They gave us $23 Dave & Buster's cards. We could upgrade for $5 for unlimited. I've never gotten a limited card at Dave & Buster's. Like, let me tell you.
I mean, all the times we went to Dave & Buster's for like cheap ass gamer, how many times did you ever play a game
Never.
or eat anything there?
I think I ordered something and they just ignored me, so never. so
like,
I'm gonna say never
sounds
again.
about right for their level.
So really, you went to Dave and Buster's and actually participated in Dave and Buster's. We didn't just steal tables from them.
Exactly.
Wait, does the unlimited one exclude ticket redemption games?
Yeah.
Okay.
But Mike, let me tell you, the sense of autonomy that you have and freedom when you have an unlimited Dave and Buster's card, it's magical. It's just like, you can
Doesn't
die
it just feel
as
like
many
when you're
times as you
playing
want.
arcade games emulated and you just keep hitting the coin button?
Yes, but
Like, hey, Ninja Turtles is actually kind of not that fun anymore.
That's the problem. That was the only two complaints were Luigi's Mansion wasn't there, which had been, and I didn't see Ninja Turtles, which was disappointing.
Yeah, I have not seen Ninja Turtles in a Dave and Buster's either. I've checked 2 of them.
Was the Halo one there?
Yes, but I
still haven't tried that.
But the thing
Halo
is,
gets boring after like 2 levels. You're like, can I just walk away now?
my fellow guild members were all sitting at it, so I couldn't play it. They were having so much fun. I was like, I would play it, but you all are saying.
And I don't mean because it's easy. It's not like it's easy, but it's just like I'm tired of holding this gun.
Yeah. So Tony, I met a guy named Red, who I believe everybody. It's funny. You came up like 8 times during this meeting.
Yeah.
So you're a very popular guy.
I mean, it's not to do actually. So we'll talk about it when I get to mine. Lou also knows Red as.
So I met Red, and he and I sat down to play there's a Namco game called Death Escape. You put on, the 3D glasses and the cabinet vibrates and shakes and you're shooting zombies and it's like blowing puffs of smoke and air at you.
Yeah.
It's a crazy game. Of course, we got the worst ending because there's one scene where you have to shoot all these like alien mushrooms, just like 20 on screen. They give you 3 seconds to shoot them all, then tell you fail. Let you continue the story until the person you've been walking behind ultimately turns around and bites you to death. It's just like, come on. What are we doing with our lives? So.
Okay. Well, that's cool. I'm glad Red is good. He will be joining you guys. They're in the move right now
that is certainly why he was there. No, he's good people. We played some other stuff. No, he was crushing me at air hockey too. It was embarrassing, like really embarrassing. So,
did they have that Pac-Man air hockey there?
Oh, that one's nuts.
I didn't see that one.
Yeah, that's cool. I mean, it's really short, unfortunately. Like the game time is only like a minute, but it's cool to play at least one time, or at least watch somebody play it.
What are the pictures I took? I don't know. I can't think of the name of it. But Lou, you played it before? This escape thing?
Oh,
with the 3D glasses. Okay,
it's nuts. Yeah, that they have. We go to Dave and Buster's quite often. It's kind of like the go-to for my son. He's like, I had a good day at school. Dave and Buster's. I'm like,
Dark Escape 4D.
Well, it's unlimited wings night. You bet, son. So
we all get to win. So, what else? Oh,
Daddy gets a stomach ache. So
well. And then we beat Target Bravo, which has some of the worst voiceovers I've ever. That was.
Is that like a military squad?
Yeah, but it's so cheesy. It's just like.
Isn't it like a sequel to Ghost Squadron, the Sega?
That makes sense.
You know what?
I want to say, which I just bought on Wii, so that's why it's in my head.
You just bought this game.
For $2.99, I bought Ghost Squad on. You know what?
Because if you didn't, you would be losing money. I don't.
Well, you know why? Because I had to walk into a GameStop because a good friend of mine asked me to go pick up a board game for him.
Oh, who would ask you to do such a thing?
That's a half an hour away.
So a half an hour away?
I wasn't. I don't know if that.
You live in Delaware. I figured you could just step right outside. You're there.
Half an hour. Wait. Aaron, remember when you sent me the picture of the Friday the 13th cards that were at GameStop?
You're welcome.
Yeah, well, yeah. So I saw it and I was like, yeah, I know somebody who's going to want these. And this was when we were driving back from the funeral, and I had it reserved in Harrisburg because it was like, all right, it's right off the highway. They've got it. I'll pop in, get out. No big deal. I get in there, and I said, yeah, I placed an order online. He said, oh yeah, the cards. He opens the drawer and he goes, "You do know these are just cards, right? This isn't actually a game. Like, this is just playing cards."
I assumed you knew that.
I just looked at your text and was like, "Awesome hookup." And then I said, "Well, okay, whatever. She'll still like it." And she did. But then he says to me, "Also, these are like the only ones that aren't on clearance." And I was like, "Well, whatever. I'll just pay for them anyway." He's like, "Yeah, all the other ones are like $1."
Well, that's what one. So Aaron asked me to pick up a board.
What just happened?
Uh-oh.
Tiny.
Unfreeze yourself, buddy.
Move.
I don't know if he had storms. We had some pretty wild storms coming through earlier.
Well, he picked up a game called Crystal Clans for me. It was like $2.50, something like that. I cleaned up at that sale. I don't know if you're into board and card games, but man, that clearance at GameStop was nuts.
Yeah, I didn't have a whole lot at my GameStops here locally, but I typically do. Like, I got the last time around, I got the Call of Duty card game. There's like a Call of Duty like.
I saw it and I was like, I'm never gonna play this.
It's my problem. I buy like Steam game. I used to buy Steam games like crazy. I'm now buying board games and card games like I used to buy Steam games.
Yep.
The problem is, those have a lot of room.
They do take up more physical space than digital items do.
I literally was at Gen Con recently. I spent too much money, and I brought my bag of goodies over to my buddy's house, and I'm like, you guys play with these. I will never open these games. Somebody else enjoy them.
See, I feel like something like a Call of Duty game, I would just start thinking, I guess I get in the mindset of when I was young, even though I probably never actually do this, be like, if it comes with any sort of figures, even if they're like, cardboard things that you put in a little plastic like stand.
Sure.
And I don't feel like playing the game, I'll just set them all up and roll a bowling ball across their faces or something like that.
That's an interesting use of your resources.
And then I would buy based on this premise, but then I would probably still never take the shrink wrap off of it.
No. I mean, I definitely scouted out tried to find good deals for like miniatures. We do play D&D as a group. I don't paint them, so I would give them to my friends to paint, but I don't know.
Well done.
I'm a habitual purchaser of things I don't need. So
I mean, also I like the cons and stuff, like where they have the rent or borrow the board games thing. Just drop it off and be like, hey, add this to your collection.
Oh, that's a good idea. Yeah, maybe I should do that next year.
Good way to get rid of stuff. Bring it and just give it to somebody and make it seem like you're really doing them a favor, and then they realize like 10 minutes later, wait a minute, this was garbage.
You're welcome. So did we lose? We lost him.
But he says he's trying to
he lost
get
power.
back in. Power went
Hopefully
out, but it's back on now.
Gotcha.
So I'm sorry, I was talking to my wife. You talking about just the space everything takes up? Yeah.
Yeah, it's nuts. Like we live in a little house, but man, I just love the feel of the thought of getting a really good board game, because I think it's going to be like this transcendent experience with my wife or with my friends, and it usually it never comes out of the box. But we've gotten the 8-year-old on playing board games. I'm trying to find stuff that he can. We've done like the 5-minute Marvel. I don't know if you've done that.
I have 5-minute Dungeon. I picked up 5-minute Marvel from GameStop for like $5.
No,
it has extra mechanics.
Yeah, so like that's great. It's fun.
That's the one we played where you set up your phone and the thing counts down.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Gotcha.
Co-op, quick action. Yeah. They had. I picked up the TMNT Munchkin Deluxe. That was like $2.
Oh, okay.
Samurai Jack.
You must have got the same sale. Yes, I cleaned up on that sale.
Hail Hydra was there. It was crazy, man. I mean, yeah, but I know what you mean. Like, there's been ones that it's funny. I've been getting into more games on my phone, and they're converting me to get the analog versions.
Oh, really?
So I play both. Like Mystic Veil, I love it playing on my phone or on Steam, and then I picked it up, and I've been playing a lot of games with my girls. They're soon to be 10 and 13. They eat them up. So.
Oh, cool.
And they beat me a lot too. So, which is. And legitimately too. Like I'm showing them the mechanics, and they're picking it up, and then they're like, "Oh yeah, I won." Good for you. Go to bed. So, yeah. Wow. What else? Anybody see Toy Story 4?
No.
Not yet.
Okay.
No.
It was good.
I can wait for video on that.
It was quite good. After almost crying in part 3, I figured, why are they doing a 4th one? But I really did enjoy what they did with that movie, I have to say.
Cool. Yeah, Forky looks like one of the best characters of all time.
Honestly, I think he's the best one they've ever done.
Wait, what was the name you just said?
Forky.
Forky?
Who's actually a spork with like pipe cleaner hands.
Wow,
and,
I guess I haven't seen any of the. Like, I don't know anything about this.
But you should find out. It's quite endearing.
I'll watch it when it's on. I mean, look, we're gonna pay for Disney Plus, so
I'm already paying for it. I have Hulu. I'm paying like $15 for that.
They're not even delivered it yet. You've already started paying a monthly fee.
Well, no, I mean, it's essentially it'll be the same price I'm paying now, just for more content. That's what I was kind of figuring.
Wait, you're swapping Hulu out, or are you just going to pay?
Well, no, they're doing a bundle. It's like $13 for Hulu, Disney Plus, and ESPN.
Yeah.
And they're already taking the money for Hulu Plus, or not Hulu, Disney that doesn't exist?
No, but I'm already paying for Hulu. So if I already have Hulu, then I'm paying the same amount of money I will be paying because I'll just transition it over because Disney bought.
Oh, you will?
Yeah.
You're not already paying. Okay, I got you.
Yeah, no, I'm paying for Hulu now, so I figured once it comes out, I'll be getting additional content for no more money, which is
wait a minute.
A win.
Hulu costs that much a month now?
Well, I don't want ads.
Oh, for the ad free.
Yeah, for the ad free.
Gotcha.
Yeah. I probably should have mentioned that. Yes, the ad free.
Do you still get the ad free with this bundle?
That's a good question.
You might be in for a rude awakening.
But hey,
there's got to be a reason that it doesn't cost anymore.
Yeah, that is true. Yeah. What was the thing you spelled? What was that, Lou? What was that?
I just found my new Pokemon card. Have you guys? I don't know where this came from. I was saying, look, someone want a code? There you go.
Oh, hey, if you're watching it, then it is yours.
Did you go to the Detective Pikachu? Did you say that that's what that's from, I think.
Oh, okay. That must be what it is.
So
I always end up with a pile of these. My son's like, "Go play the game." I'm like, I don't know. I don't need to.
Game? I didn't know there was a game.
A Pokemon? There's a game?
No, it's just a cartoon about being the very best.
And wearing a trench coat and holding a gigantic magnifying glass while being electronic rat.
That too.
Wow.
All right. And the last thing
that's reduction right there.
Yeah, it is. Pure reduction. The last thing I did is I had a chance. I was in Buffalo visiting my parents. The girls were there. Then I flew in to spend a couple of days with my folks, and we went to the Strong Museum of Play in Rochester. And they have a very nice women in games exhibit. Probably a little bit bigger, but I mean, I think they're planning on expanding it, which is great. It's good, but bigger is definitely better. And they have it's the museum just full of like the history of play and games, and there's a huge video game section. And I knew that there's a I guess not necessarily open to the public. I guess he's got to ask, but there's some back rooms. So I tweeted some folks. I just went to the website, went to the staff page, saw some Twitter accounts, and just started tweeting stuff out. And mind you, this is as we're in the car on the way. So as
I was waiting in line to get a ticket, I was like, "Yo!"
So I was it was very last minute. I should have planned better, but it was a blessing. People got back to me, and a gentleman by the name of Andrew Borman. Gave my dad and I this crazy tour. I mean, he took us back to took us to the basement. I mean, when you talk about just archives of stuff, it's mind blowing. Like the stuff in there, I've never seen it before. I took so many pictures. It's ridiculous, but it was really nice just to get a chance to see some of that stuff and just get access to they're just like a huge warehouse full of shelves, full of stuff. Like I was like, this is every N64 Japanese game, 64 DD game in this box. Like
they have the one copy of real Polybius.
Whatever. They might as well. They
got that game from the James Bond movie where you're gonna die eventually.
Oh, with the electrocute you.
Yeah,
it wasn't plugged in.
Play?
It wasn't plugged in.
But I mean, like they had like the old Sega like punching bag game. This is like when Sega was like service games.
Like, gotcha, yeah.
I mean, the stuff they had went from like the early like the early 1900s to like stuff that came out yesterday. It was nuts.
Early 1900s.
Yeah, they had
like claw games,
the electromechanical games.
Yeah, kind of pinball stuff. I mean, they have that much. They almost have one of everything.
The Nickelodeons
prototypes for like 360 control. I mean, everything. It was crazy. I'm just scrolling up to all these pictures now. Like I only tweeted a couple of them out, but I don't know. I gotta do something with them. But so that was really cool. So and also had a garbage plate, which I did not know.
Oh, that's a Rochester thing.
Yeah, even though I'm from Buffalo, it's maybe 90 minutes away. I had never heard of a garbage plate until like 10 years ago. I'm listening to the CADcast.
Explain, what is a garbage plate? I'm from Colorado. What is this?
I'm glad you asked me that, Lou. I'm going to explain it to you.
Segue.
As it's necessary. So basically, garbage plate is like your base is like you either choose like cheeseburger or a hot dog.
Okay.
But they will give you like fries, macaroni salad, macaroni and cheese, coleslaw, covered, or like baked beans, covered in like they put the hot dog or cheeseburger, not buns, on top of it, and it's like this spicy sauce you can put on. Or they'll like cover it in ketchup, mustard, relish. It's putting a whole bunch of stuff just layered onto a plate.
Wow.
Is it healthy? No.
Sort of like nachos, but
yeah,
all manner of other trash.
There you go. So in the Strong Museum, there's a diner when you walk in called Bill Ray's, and they have them there, but everything closes at 5 p.m. So we just found a Bill Ray's that was just, in Rochester and just went there to eat. I mean, it was fine. I probably gonna order it again. I'm trying to eat better, but I experienced it.
There you go.
So it was cool. Like my mom got fries, baked beans, and then cheeseburgers like smothered in onions and like chili sauce, and you can go nuts. It's just it's a bunch of stuff just layered. It's a thing. So yeah, that's pretty much it for me. It was a good 2 weeks. Food was eaten, air was breathed, water was drunk, whatever.
Dranked it.
There you go. How about you, Tom?
I'm trying to. I mean, really, I'll be quick because really all I wrote down was stuff from Saturday and Sunday, I guess. Saturday we also did a guild meeting. Shock. For Philadelphia, we did our meeting, and then I was interviewed twice that day. Once by the Console Gaming League for like an hour, talking about some extra life or something. I don't know, some kind of fraud. No, I'm joking. And then the Weekend Filler, which is a program on our local, what is it, CBS network? So, which also they interviewed some Call Me Johnny, and then featured stuff from New Jersey GamerCon. So yeah, so I was on the TV, and then my parents' 40th anniversary was Sunday, so I took them out to dinner and whatnot. And I had something related to that to talk about, but now I've forgotten since the power went out while we were doing this. And then I found out that Marvel and Sony are fighting over Spider-Man. So no more Spider-Man. We'll see. That's not true. It's not no more Spider-Man movies. But
we're all surprised.
So
yeah, I mean, the first question I had was, is it still going to be Tom Holland? And apparently, as long as he's willing to do it, it will be.
Well, there's some stuff that we'll see.
People took it way more seriously than I thought they would. Like, it's about Disney, money. That's what this is.
But Disney riled up their fans and said, leak that they had come to they can't come to an agreement. We're taking Kevin Feige off. Or Sony has said that Kevin Feige can't be participating.
He can't come out to play.
And then, I mean, there's so far that Sony ended up putting up a press statement saying, we're at an impasse. we're trying to figure this out. We're sad that Kevin can't work with us on this. And then like sources came out and said, oh, Kevin loves Spider-Man, so he'd never blah blah. And like it's just two corporations getting their fans all riled up.
The end of that statement that Sony put out said that we learned a lot, we liked what he did, and we're gonna continue on with what he started, which said to me they're not gonna reboot it.
Well, but see, they can't.
That's crazy.
They can't continue on with what he started because they can't do anything with Spider-Man in the MCU because they can't feature anyone else.
Yeah.
If you think about, I mean, I don't want to spoil the Spider-Man movie, but
what about his classmates?
You know what? You'd have to check with the thing, but you can't have Nick Fury, for example, who literally shows up in both movies.
That's okay.
But if you think about how that movie wraps up,
right? Like
they could get away with it.
No, they absolutely couldn't get away with it.
I mean, it wouldn't be great, but they could salvage something.
They have set up Peter Parker to be the next Tony Stark, and that can't happen now.
I mean, they could just make Aunt May like the antagonist, and it writes itself.
There you movie?
Go. What's that?
Can Aunt May be in the movie?
I would assume she's a character in that pantheon. But for example, there were I don't even know if I can say that. Now, there is something in the movie that is definitely not a Spider-Man part of the property.
As far as you know, if they can't, are they going to try to like have the Spider-Man-less Venom movie now mixed with the new Spider-Mans?
Possibly. There's rumor that they're going to do a Spider-Verse.
I don't even know what that would be. That just doesn't even seem like it would be.
It would make sense, like at all. Like, there's rumor they're going to do a Spider-Verse movie where they bring Tobey Maguire and Andrew Garfield back, and like be like, "Oh, hey, we have the Spider-Mans from all the."
Can we just say that Andrew Garfield was like a pretty good Spider-Man? Like he was fine. Like I thought he was.
The second movie, the second Amazing Spider-Man movie, was just a bad movie, just like the third Spider-Man, Tobey Maguire Spider-Man movie was.
I just wish they would have had Electro be the antagonist and not throw in Evil Goblin 8 and.
Well, they throw like 4 different villains in or whatever, and then they hint at the Sinister Six at the end, and they're like, oh, but like everyone's half as dumb because they only really have the IQ of one villain. Like Jamie Foxx could have killed Spider-Man several times during that movie.
Easily.
Wait, Jamie Foxx was in what movie?
An Amazing Spider-Man 2. He was Electro.
You don't remember that?
No, I never watched it. I didn't like the first one. I was like, this movie's dumb.
And there's some stuff there too, like what's his name? Dennis Miller? Is it no?
Dennis Leary.
Dennis Leary. Dennis Leary has been shot and he's bleeding out. I coincidentally have this needle full of the lizard stuff that will make him regenerate, and we also have the cure for it. So I could save him, but I don't because
it was I
need the pathos.
And like once I skipped and then they were like, oh, also we're done with that Spider-Man because that didn't make us enough money. Like, okay, good. I don't have to worry about that movie now.
So, I mean, it's dumb that we care about like giant mega corporations, but the real answer here is like Sony only had to give 5%, I think, of the royalties to Disney.
That's nothing.
And like and now Disney's like, well, we should split it 50-50 and we'll split the cost too. And they're like, I mean, from Sony's perspective, it's $100 million to make $1 billion, or
that
to make 500,000 or 500 million. Like
something I heard the other day was like, there's 5 movies this year that made $1 billion, and 4 of them are Disney, and the 5th one was Spider-Man.
Yeah, yes. Far From Home is now the highest-grossing movie Sony has ever made.
Which is like,
really?
That's Disney adjacent. So basically, it's 5 Disney movies. I mean, come on.
Yeah, like it's again, mega corporations to worry about, but it's Disney really riled up their fans by leaking this stuff, and then they put the force on Sony. So,
but like, what kind of a deal did Sony strike back in the day? Did they own?
They bought the right. So you got to remember, Marvel was going out of business. Marvel was bankrupt.
Right.
And so, in order to generate cash, Marvel sold off their very popular the movie and television rights to very popular characters. The Fantastic Four, the X-Men, and Spider-Man. No one wanted the Avengers. Like, Iron Man was a B-tier character at best.
Yeah,
Captain America, all that stuff. So
sure. Spider-Man's the biggest.
Like
bunch.
Right. I never realized how big Spider-Man was from like a sales perspective until more recently as an adult. So they sold that off.
Already bought an entire studio just to get the rights of certain things.
Well, that's the thing. Now people are like, so they're going to just go buy Sony.
Or just say, they can still say to Sony, like, listen, you never made as much money as we just did with this thing. Here's $1 billion with you spending nothing.
They made $1 billion minus 5% on Far From Home. Plus what they did with Venom and what they did.
But they're not going to do that without Disney's help. That's
what they did. But they did with Venom. Venom also made $1 billion.
Oh, was it that high?
Yeah, it was. Oh, okay. Yeah, it did very well.
And the Spider-Verse, Into the Spider-Verse, while it's an animated movie, so it doesn't make as much, still did gangbusters for them. Like,
I bet you could make an argument that I'm sure somebody could look at some numbers and figure out exactly how much money Disney could probably stand to gain by having Spider-Man be the central character in future Avenger style. In other words, not just, we'll make a few more Spider-Man movies, but fully integrated in all the other stuff, which fuels interest in all of the
what's the incentive
characters.
But what's the incentive for Sony to give up those rights then?
Whatever the number is that it takes.
Think about it you think about it that way because it's like, oh, you guys aren't going to be able to make but they made a Venom movie that made $1 billion. That's garbage. Like, and they're like, we could do this they're doing a Morbius movie. Most people have no idea who Morbius is.
Well, when you say made, I mean that it's $1 billion in ticket sales, right?
Yeah.
So it's minus costs, minus production costs, minus advertising costs.
Let's say that was $100 million. That's a 10-time return on investment.
Well, that's what I'm saying. At some point, there's a number that Sony says, okay, just give us the money, and we don't have to make any of these movies, and then you can do whatever you want.
But that's only so. At least and granted, I do not have an MBA, but that's only if you assume that their movies aren't going to make that money, because right now they make 95% of that. There is no number that giving Disney wholesale rights to Spider-Man outweighs what they could make 95% of what they do going forward.
What? No. I mean, like you look at only the numbers for what they actually took away, put in the bank, right? Like you don't worry about how many ticket sales there are, because if the offer, look, this might not be realistic. So Disney might say, look, we're not giving you $1 trillion for Spider-Man,
and that's fine, but Sony then gets to keep those rights.
No, but what I'm saying is, like, there may actually be a number that so far exceeds what they could potentially actually walk away with 15 movies or whatever, that Disney says, we've got enough money, just take it, leave us alone, we'll do our thing, and do whatever you want. Go make PlayStation 17 and another spinning baby commercial or whatever.
I'm sure that number somewhere exists, but like if I think about how it would be from an accounting perspective, that's a one-time, like you would realize that in that year, as compared to Spider-Man could be the goose that keeps every year helps keep your movie studio afloat.
I mean, yeah, I'm sure they want to bet on themselves. I understand that, but if
it's the question, if Morbius does garbage, maybe they would reconsider it, but we'll see, because no one cares about Morbius.
Well, whatever. Vampire guy, right?
What's that?
He's the vampire guy, right?
That's exactly it. He is the vampire guy.
Touches you to suck your blood out of his hands.
Right, but he's the vampire made through science, because almost all Spider-Man villains have to be science went bad plus animal.
A bat bit him in the neck and he turned into a vampire.
Well, it's he was a scientist. He didn't do something. Blah blah blah. Exposed himself. He became a life-sucking vampire. Like he's not a
radioactive bat.
It's weird I'm going to say this. He's not a real vampire in the Marvel universe. Like there's Dracula vampires and then there's Morbius.
So he's like Vamp.
Like yeah.
It's all nanomachines.
Yeah, it's all magic. It's all science magic. It's not magic.
Nice.
Like,
It's totally clear. You cleared everything.
It's so dumb.
When you repeat words,
and then,
it makes
then
everything
you talk
make
about
sense.
Blade
Makes sense.
and Anyway. You like no idea what's going on anymore. But yes, he like. We'll see. Maybe Morbius will be a very interesting movie. They made an interesting Ant-Man movie. They made 2 of them. I actually really enjoyed both the Ant-Man movies. So.
Yeah, I enjoy them as well.
Well, we'll see. But anyway, that's about it. I mean, I'll be at Keystone Comic Con this weekend, but that's about it. So Aaron, I didn't see any feedback, but you have better visibility than I do into this.
I didn't see any either, and so if you're listening and I forgot about it or I didn't see it, forgive me. I do err quite often.
And send it again.
And send it again. Or if I find it, I will certainly play it, but I didn't see any. So.
Gotcha. So then let's move on to games. So, and to which point I'm going to say Lou started dancing, but I also saw that Steam told me Lou started playing Dota Overlords or Underlords.
Oh, it must be on my other laptop that it must be playing there. Whoops.
Oh, weird. My other Xbox turned on.
Laptop.
So what's going on with Dota Underlords?
Right. So I am totally down for the new auto battler trend that's going on with all of the MOBAs.
Is this the auto chess kind of?
Yeah, so Dota Underlords is auto chess, is Dota's version of auto chess, and apparently League of Legends has a similar one as well. But I don't know. It's like the first strategy game that I'm not terrible at in terms of like the MOBA space. And the only thing is it takes too long to play the games. Like the matches are just way too long. But I do like it's kind of like a press your luck and anticipating like it's like very complicated rock paper scissors.
Okay.
And I love that. So
I mean, yeah, I was going to tell you if you want really complicated rock paper scissors, let me tell you about Pokemon.
Tell me about this.
Like eight-way rock paper scissors.
Right. So essentially, I kind of think of about it like it's virtual battle bots. Like essentially, you're making your little team and you're sending them out to go battle, and it's all random. But it's based upon like synergy between classes and factions that as to how well they do. And of course, you're playing against other synergies and other factions that may or may not affect your particular role. You sometimes do have to kind of change strategy, kind of like mid-game. But yeah, it's kind of an easy to play, difficult to master.
Mm-hmm.
Gotcha. And so like you said, you build out your team and then you essentially send them off to fight, right? Like you have no direct control.
Correct. Yeah. Once you can change their placement on kind of your area, and that actually will affect gameplay and depending on what the other person is doing. And you can look into other people's boards, but you also want to keep an eye on your board. So it's kind of like you can see what other kind of units the other people have and kind of balance out. But on the fly, because each round is really limited, you don't have a whole lot of time to make those decisions. But overall, a match can take 20 to 45 minutes, depending on how long you're in the game. If you stay in there longer, you're going to be sitting there for almost an hour sometimes. But,
man, okay, yeah. I mean, so it's Dota lengths. Like, I mean, at that point,
yeah, they did not. It is not a casual game by any means, and they do have it on mobile too. So, and it connects to your Steam account.
Okay,
kind of cool. So you can rank up and get like cosmetic stuff and that sort of thing. It's fun.
Good stuff.
Yeah. What else have you been playing, sir?
I have dove back into Final Fantasy 14.
Okay.
I have a long history with MMOs, and this one in particular really scratches an itch that I really like in terms of storytelling and the ability to play a crap ton of classes and just level up and be awesome and really pretty. So I like being awesome and pretty. It's one of my hallmark.
Yeah, I mean, it's part of the brand. So.
What are your MMO like tastes like? Like, were you into
I was an original EverQuest guy, so I was down for like the hardcore stuff.
You were down for corpse runs and whatnot.
Yeah. Oh man, I mean, so many corpse runs all the time. But then I moved into I did a lot of WoW, but then we did We did a lot of EverQuest 2, but we did a lot of PvP in EverQuest 2 back when it was.
You played EverQuest, like, man, okay.
Yeah.
I don't think I know anyone that actually ever played. Like, I was working at GameStop when EverQuest 2 came out, and it was one of the first games to come on DVD, or you could have the, like, 12 CD set
Right.
to be able to install just the base game. I was like, what?
Yeah, no, it was one of those games.
How much do you want to commit?
Yeah. Well, then I was also a Star Wars Galaxy, like original, and then the subsequent reboots. So I didn't ever get a Jedi in Star Wars Galaxy.
I was about to ask. I was going to be like,
it was hard. It was just too much work, but I ran with it with a crew of folks who we had a lot of fun. We were Empire, and we kind of gave the Rebels a lot of hell, so that was fun. It was awesome.
Okay, I'm like, and so Sean cosplays as Empire 2 up in Boston. I'm super confused about everyone wanting to be part of the fascist regime.
I have some concerns.
It's
So, guys, I gotta.
Doesn't anybody have a fascist power fantasy? Am I the only one? What? No.
Like, I mean, you just want everyone to do what you say, which I mean, I guess I understand because, man, everyone.
They had the cooler clothes. I'll be honest.
I
mean, I wanted to be a rebel, but all the cool kids they wore black and smoked cigarettes. And that was cool. So.
Oh, those were the cool kids. I see. This is when your theater background comes in. Anyway,
had some of those guys got to wear those helmets that seemed to really serve not a whole lot of purpose when they were sitting.
The whole armor set didn't serve purpose.
Well, no, not the stormtroopers, but those guys that were like 6 feet away from the blast that comes out of the Death Star, and they got those helmets that are like super long in the back.
Yeah.
Like, what is this supposedly doing for you?
It's art decor, I think.
Like, you have cancer by the time Alderaan is gone.
Also, we couldn't afford a railing. Like, Osho wasn't in this empire far, far away a long, long time ago.
Right.
So. Bye, Barry Allen.
Oh, he said bye, Barry Allen. Bye. Say goodnight. Good night.
Good night.
Good night, game enthusiast.
I don't want to go to sleep.
Right?
All right.
So, well, good stuff. So, Lou, I don't know if you're back now.
I'm back.
Okay. Are there any other games you're playing?
Well, I've been.
Or if you want to expand on 14, like, I'm not trying to.
No, I actually got back into it because of one of our new Canadian coworkers. She was playing it, and they have a whole crew up in Toronto, and they've been playing, and she kind of got me back into it. So that's how you get somebody else. Like, I'd play MMOs, but I didn't, like, all my friends, they'd either bail or they just are, our schedules wouldn't sync up.
Right.
But now that I have somebody to play with, so I can hop on and kind of chat, and they can help each other out and play for a while. So it's fun.
It's kind of amazing that game has done as well, because I remember I don't run an MMO, so I remember it was like dead in the water, but they kept working on it. You know?
Before A Realm Reborn,
yeah,
like the first version of 14,
it was so bad.
Wasn't there like a year in between?
Yeah, almost a year. It was terrible. It was such a bad game when it first came out, but hopefully it gave false hope to other games saying, well, we can do the same thing if we're garbage. I'm looking at you, Anthem. And
it's only been 6 months. Nobody talks about that game.
Man, okay, so there's a game coming up that was shown at Gamescom that looks just like Anthem. Like
Disintegration, right? The one with
the one by the other
Halo guy, yeah,
creator. Right. And it's like, wait, have you learned nothing?
Right. EA didn't.
Like, I loved Anthem. I loved
really?
It. Enjoyed it. I played it for hours, and I was down for it. But then it happened. It didn't do anything after that initial thing, and made me sad. And then it started running like garbage on my computer, so they didn't optimize it.
BC Terps just said WoW Classic launches on Monday. Come join me.
Yeah, I've considered it. So
I didn't play it at the time, so there's no chance of me going.
Like, I'm not in college.
There's no nostalgia for me to be.
Is it wrong that I'm more excited to see people like get what they want and realize that that's not really
not what they want?
They want.
I mean, but that's been
the
coming
most
out.
Fun game, Lou. Like,
that's been coming out of the beta test, though. Like, the people are like, "Oh, I want to report this bug," and it's like,
no,
"Oh, this isn't a bug. This is
called
how
working as designed."
this is how the game worked when you had to go find 40 boar skins or whatever. Like
you
whatever.
do.
So
hey, yeah. I mean, I had fond memories of the original UO, and if I could just play that for free for like a day, I might do that. But I'm not spending any money. I'm not going out of my way to search bootleg servers or whatever. Like,
where's your dedication? Like, who are you?
I was gonna say, yeah, like I still haven't gone and actually gotten on the City of Heroes free to play server or whatever the open.
Oh, they didn't rip that down yet?
There are more servers than they're ripping down. There are ways to do that. But like that game was my jam. Like, I was on shift. I started in college, and then when I graduated, I was on shift work, so I could play it when I got home at 8 a.m. in the morning. So like, I love that game, but that was 15 years ago, whatever. Like, I'm probably not gonna love that game now. So
you're a different Dave now.
Well, so it's funny. Lou says like, "Oh, you get friends." That was the problem with MMOs. Once my friends started playing, that was a level of commitment I wasn't willing to make. Like, when people were like, "Oh, we're gonna set up nights," I'm like, I might want to do something else. Like, I don't want to commit to this. I might want to do something else.
Right. If it's totally up to you, you'll stay up all night playing it. But if somebody says, "Hey, can we stay up together playing this game?" You're like,
good.
Don't try to control me, brother.
I think my oven just went on. I better get home.
You are home. That's why we're playing this MMO.
I better go turn the oven off if someone else is home.
I mean, upstairs.
But the other game that I loved that was kind of MMO, Hellgate London, was a game I played for a month and and then just fell directly off. And I tried to play the Korean one that came out on Steam. And it's so bad, yeah.
But that was a fun game. At its launch, it was really cool.
Like, it was broken as all hell, but yes, it was a great game. And I wish, I read the books again. Another game series where I read the books they made.
Yeah, it was a different era of I expected my game to be broken, and I was okay with it. I don't know,
but I don't identify with that anymore. So
I did already state I'm 42 years old, so I'm old. I remember we had Pong. All right, that's what's up.
Actually, you know what? Yeah, I'm gonna go on a quick tangent. So I was on that CGL interview, the Console Gaming League, and the guy's like, "Oh, what was your first game? Whatever you played games on?" I'm like, "Oh, it was an Apple IIe," and he's like, "I don't think our audience has ever heard of that." I'm like,
"No,
I'm sorry."
The iPhone. The iPhone 2? Did they make an iPhone 2?
Or like an iMac?
It's the home version of the iPhone.
Yeah, I was at Otakon. We were volunteering like a month ago, and I had mentioned something about I was doing an imitation of Johnny Five from Short Circuit, and they all looked at me like I was like, they were all like, "What are you doing?" I was like, "Short Circuit, Johnny Five, I'm alive." They were just like, "I have no idea what." I was like, wow.
That does not compute.
When I talk, everyone else in the guild is 10 years. Well, not everyone. A majority of the guild is at least 10 years younger than me, and yeah, nah, that joke didn't work. So
yeah, I tried.
So, but yeah, welcome to, I don't know. I mean, I'm gonna say welcome to being old, but you're all older than me. So
instead, welcome to die.
I'm comfortable with that, guys.
Thank you, Magneto.
I'm gonna throw that out there. Comfortable with that. So yeah. So Lou, any other games you want to talk about?
No, I'm good. That really is. That's enough. I'm trying to think that I'll play Destiny, but
Lou, are you doing the same thing? I keep telling myself I'm gonna jump in one day, and I'm like, no, I'm not.
Yeah, no, I migrated my accounts today.
I was gonna say, did you migrate? Because I saw Nick posted about that. Actually, I saw a bunch of people did, but yeah.
So, yeah, I'm thinking about it. I'm trying to. I have the Blizzard down. I know I'll have to download it again whenever it comes back out on Steam, I'm sure. But I'm like, maybe I want to play a little bit before. We'll see.
Guys, there are new games coming out.
No. They don't.
Like, why are we still playing?
New games?
I'll plug it. I did grab Marvel Ultimate Alliance 3 on the Switch, so
That's real good.
I love it.
I played through the whole thing.
Oh, really? People are salty about it, but I'm like,
I mean, I think it's fine. Like it's all like the worst thing that sucks is that at least in like the older ones, your equipment was like, oh, you found Cyclops' belt or whatever.
Oh, right.
Now it's all like you found a crystal, and this crystal gives you 0.3% increase to resistance or whatever. And
right, but it's still the same. It's the
overall it's the same
cosmetic thing, right?
It's all like it doesn't matter. Like so I don't know. I enjoyed the heck out of that. I'm waiting what the first DLC just finally got announced with funnily enough Morbius, Blade, who else from the Punisher and someone else.
All the dark
the Marvel Knights people.
Marvel Knights.
Moon Knight, yes, that makes sense. Gotcha. Right there. And that's cool. And then X-Men, Cyclops and Colossus should be available by the end of the month.
Cool.
So as playable characters. So, but yeah, well, cool. Well, good stuff. Mike, you didn't actually, put anything down.
Well,
specifically, let me say.
You played the game called Life.
Like most of the stuff that's, not Rocket League or Call of Duty that I played was on the arcade machine. So I went through a lot of stuff. Like one of the neat things about the CoinOps software for the original Xbox is if you let it sit, it'll eventually just start cycling through random games, like gameplay footage of, stuff I've never seen or heard of. And
it'll just pull ROMs from the...
Well, I think there's actually a set like loop.
Okay.
Because like I've seen repeats and there's no way they've shown every game that's on there. But like there was one called 64th Street where I was like, that looks like an interesting Final Fight clone. And sure enough, it is exactly just Final Fight, but your main character wears a tie. But a lot of the bad guys are basically just, well, they looked at that art and they're like, well, we can't just take the pixels. So draw that guy with the bandana the same way. Draw that guy who's like, stocky and short and charges at you. Draw him the same way. It's like, how much can you steal before? Anyway,
everything.
But it was,
playable. Arcades were still like everything.
Yeah, it was a playable game, so it was
okay
for a quarter or whatever it's worth. Played a lot of the Donkey Kong just like I wanted. Feels great. Bunch of other stuff, just random.
Kill Screen coming up. Kill Screen. Donkey Kong Kill Screen.
Oh hell no! I mean, I don't even have the timing down right to get through the elevator stage.
Okay.
Those stupid springs or whatever they are. It's like I know you have to wait until they line up with the thing that Donkey Kong is standing on, but exactly when to start moving. It's like I think it's after the second bounce, but it's so ridiculous that's the only way to get through this. That part's pretty dumb. But
what you're saying is we're not going to see you in the next King of Kong sequel.
No.
Gotcha.
No. Like the one cool thing about the software is it does retain high scores even after you turn it off.
Oh, that's cool.
So I can keep track of what my highest score is, and it's like 34,500 or something like that. Like I've done better in an arcade setting before. I think I've gotten about 40 is my best score ever, and that's pathetic. I mean, like, like even people who are like not challenging for the world record but are good or usually get something like 300,000 or something like that.
Gotcha. Okay.
So I don't know. Whatever. I still enjoy playing it. I feel like I'm learning a little bit more about the, exactly how to manipulate the barrels by shifting your direction at the right moment. I don't know. Anyway, it's cool. I'm enjoying that, and I also hooked up the Turbo Duo on the same machine. I got an adapter so I can use the arcade console on for PC Engine. So it just works. One of the games that I played Final Zone 2, that's one game that there's a little bit of a problem with the gate, which is the 8-way gate.
8-way
so
gate.
it wants to slide a little bit too much to the left and the right when you're pushing forward, because it's flat to side, and that game, it's basically like Commando, like the original game Commando, where you're like running forward and just shooting. You can shoot in any of the 8 directions, like Akari Warriors, something like that.
Gotcha. In my head, it was just the movie. So.
Oh no, not the no. But it's like it's got a ridiculous cutscene in the beginning that, as far as I know, even though I played it a few times, you're not able to skip it, and it's like 10 minutes long. So that's kind of a deterrent to like actually trying again. But I could not finish the first stage on it.
So is there no save states in this emulator? Like, could you skip?
Oh, this wasn't an emulator. This was me actually playing the disc on the Turbo Duo.
Oh, gotcha.
There are a few PC Engine games on the CoinOps emulator, but not many. There's a lot more Super Nintendo and Mega Drive games on there, which I could go. I mean, I'll play some of them here and there. I will say I tried to play Super Mario Brothers on the emulator that's on there, and it felt like there was some input lag. And I was like, wait a minute, have I just not noticed with some of the arcade games? And I played some of them, and I was like, no, I'm not feeling it. I think it's just the NES emulator on this setup. So that's kind of a bummer. But also, how many NES games am I going to play on this machine? Not many.
This machine cannot run the 3 megahertz that the NES.
I'm sure it's just the particular software that they have. Like I don't even know. I don't know what it's running. All I know is it's one package that, puts all of it on in one shot.
Cool. Well, good stuff.
The other one I played on the Duo, though, was Last Alert, which has one of the better, and when I say better, like just more entertaining voiceover, some of the better voiceover work because of how terrible it is. Guy Kazama is the main character, and the antagonists that you come across, the bosses, like, it'll be one guy who'll talk, and then he'll like pinch his nose and pretend he's supposed to be somebody else, and immediately say like the next line.
Wait, the voice actor is doing this?
Yeah, like it's that ridiculously bad. So it's an entertaining game. It's much more playable than Last Alert 2, but it's kind of like, think Metal Gear 1 mixed with Bloody Wolf and then CD cutscenes, and it's that's a very elaborate description. Yeah,
so
it's an alright game. I think I'm gonna play some more of that one too. But
cool.
Keep playing Never Stop Sneaking.
No. I need to get back to that one.
That was fun.
Speaking of Switch games, I did play some more. What is the game? I forgot the name of it. My Friend Pedro.
Oh, okay.
Oh, yeah, I got to get back to that too.
It doesn't feel like it's changing a whole lot. Like, I played a lot of levels, and it just seems like, all right, here's some more guys, shoot them. Slow down time, shoot them. I don't know. Like,
so are you saying, because like you were a big fan of Mr. Shifty?
Yeah,
Mr. Shifty, let's say, gradually changed more over time. Than
it got clever.
Gotcha.
Like, My Friend Pedro is just like, none of these levels are hard. Just keep shooting these guys and then get to the next level. Like, gotcha. Okay. So I'll play like 1 or 2 levels, and then just turn it off and play some more Castlevania games on the collection or something like that.
Gotcha.
Which I'm still working my way through. Bloodlines at the moment, but so anyway, yeah, that's what I've been playing. Aaron, I see you're like adding something as we're talking. So.
I was gonna say Aaron's list is getting longer.
Aaron, that's a problem.
I need to stop before this list is untenable.
I played some Smash Ultimate and realized that I played very little of it because the 13-year-old had been playing some at camp this summer. In the afternoons, they would just play on the counselors' switches they would bring in. I've only unlocked like 5 or 6 characters, so she was very. Yeah, I did get my Piranha Plant. Yes.
Okay.
PD. Is it just Piranha Plant or is it PD Piranha?
I think it's just Piranha Plant because.
Well, that's disappointing.
Isn't he in a flower pot?
Yeah, PD is not so
right,
much.
PD has the giant stomach, which you fill with water and sunshine.
Oh, sunshine.
Why are we shaking our heads at sunshine? Classic.
I mean, it's not. It's when you compare it to the other games.
I just want to say that y'all do not disappoint. You are game enthusiasts. Like depth of knowledge of your I'm an enthusiast, but like I can't get close to y'all. I mean, I'm getting some schooling and some learning, and I appreciate you very much.
Thank you, Lou.
I just know it was a piranha plant. I didn't know they had names.
Well, no, there's only.
I thought that he wore the pot as kind of like a formal occasion versus let himself go. Right.
I can't.
Oh, you want to see what his roots look like? That's what you're saying.
As far
That's
as
personal.
I know, there's only one named piranha plant inside the Mario universe.
It's just Petey.
From Smash or from Super Mario Sunshine, because you'd shoot the water into his mouth and then his stomach, for some reason his belly button would become an outie, and that's what you would then jump on.
Oh,
that's how
that's real.
that works.
Yeah.
That's
all right. No, I appreciate it. No, you guys did the best.
No.
Thank you.
I'm just bummed that the Belmont amiibos are still so far away.
Oh my god.
Where are the rest of the Shovel Knight ones? Spectre.
I have had them on
King.
pre-order for like an age. Come on.
It's been a year.
Also, where's King of Cards? I've been waiting for that forever.
Yeah.
I just can't wait till the day where they're just like, yeah, we told you we're doing the Wii U version, but it just isn't happening.
Well, that's inevitable, right?
I mean,
They told me last time I asked directly, like, yes, it's still coming.
Wii U version's not still coming. Let's not lie to
okay,
ourselves.
is your Wii U even plugged in? Mine is. But
No, of course not. But that's the version I paid for.
Okay.
Because when it came out, it was Wii U or 3DS or the Steam or something. There was only two versions.
And I'm going to.
I have not. I need to get that code.
I came
for
very
level.
close to beating it like 2 weeks ago. I was like,
You should give me that code so that I can get that donation instead of you. So
well, he didn't necessarily say.
No, he 100% stopped the show.
No, he did. Yes, he said any of the three of us. I listened to that today.
Like that.
Okay, but however,
Any of the three of us can beat that level. He will do an elite donation to our hospital.
I have the first right of refusal, and I'm making
I don't
that up.
Remember that at all? So
No, I think it's the first one to beat the level.
Right.
Okay, I'll tell you what. After I beat it, I'll share the code.
I think Aaron's the only one that has the code, though. So
Well,
I guess I got.
I think I know somebody you might be able to ask to get the code.
Oh, I know who I go.
I can give you the code.
In New York right now. Like, I'll just. Hey, I'm gonna go find. No. Anyway. So okay. So you've been playing Smash and Ultimate, I assume, against your daughters.
Yeah. So we,
and
because
they've
the
been kicking
3DSs come out when we're on airplanes and in cars when Daddy is not driving. It's like, let's play Mario Kart. Let's play this. So we'll play a lot of Mario Kart 7, a lot of Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, Smash 3DS, Smash Ultimate. So yeah, good stuff. We also checked out the demo for Heave Ho on Steam, which is Lou. If you play Heave Ho,
what is this?
Devolver is publishing it. It's
I'm not shocked by that part.
What's the game where like your little characters are just the head and arms, and you have to work together to get yourself over from like point A to point B. It's so much fun.
Okay. Cool.
Yeah. So the demo is out, and I was surprised they sent me a Steam key, which I did not expect because I often don't make the cut for Devolver's games, which is. But they let me down gently. I'm like, I understand. I mean, they have a finite number of these things. I get it. But that was a very welcome surprise. So, no, the demo was great. So I think it's out a couple of days.
I thought it was Tuesday.
Okay, yeah. Well, that's a couple of days. Several.
Yeah. Next release cycle. So.
Yeah. So I'm playing some of that. Played some Rogue Singularity on the Switch, which is almost. Remember the jazzy levels in Sunshine?
Yes. It's
sort of like that. You just collect coins. You can buy little outfits, and there's like the antagonist taunting you. It's. I love 3D platformers. So obviously it does not have the polish of a Sunshine or a Galaxy, which I didn't expect. It can be a little floaty, but I still like it. It's still fun. Games don't have to be perfect to be fun.
Okay.
So that's I think that's just on the Switch right now. Rogues. I don't know why it's even called Rogue Singularity. You just
is there going to be a video for it soon?
Yes, there will be.
I kind of figured there might be.
Yeah. Vambrace Cold Soul. I kind of just started this before the show started. It looks like I didn't play. What was it? Darkest Dungeon.
Okay, yeah, the dungeon. Yeah, like
Yeah, it looks a
depressing
lot.
dungeons exploring.
It looks a lot like that. But there's a lot of talk, so I gotta really spend some time and understand what the characters' motivations are for the hacking and or slashing that they're doing against various enemies.
Gotcha.
Pix the Cat, play some of that on the Switch. I watched Cyril's review. That's Defunct Games. He was saying that the D-pad on, obviously he did not like the Joy-Con, didn't satisfy him. He said the D-pad on the Pro Controller also didn't work well. I did okay with the D-pad. I don't know. It wasn't perfect, but it was still good. Anybody play Pix the Cat? It was on.
Was that the one on Vita?
Yeah, it was on Vita.
Yeah.
Okay, I feel like I've seen it on Vita. Like it's on my Vita.
Oh, it was a PlayStation Plus game, wasn't it?
I think so. At one point.
Probably, yeah. Where all the levels are sort of nested within each other.
Yeah.
So it's pretty neat. So had some fun with that. Played Bird Game Plus. It's like you're black and white. You control a bird flying, into the background. You're avoiding things and spinning and doing barrel dives and barrel rolls, whatever. It's pretty fun. It's pretty cool. And today I played some Whipsy and the Lost Atlas, which Whipsy looks a lot like he's very Kirby influenced, but he has a whip, like a little like vine kind of flowery whip that he can hit enemies with and use it to grapple on little rings and stuff. Very straightforward 2D platformer, solid controls. It just checks the right boxes. It's not doing anything particularly innovative, but it is fun.
So, did they explain, was the character's name Whipsy before he got the whip? Or before they got the whip?
He was just C before he had the whip.
Okay, I was just trying to, I always wonder, like, was Scar named Scar in The Lion King? And, like, it was just coincidence that he later became scarred.
Yeah. Did you see The Lion King?
I mean, I've seen The Lion King. I have not seen the
okay.
live action one, or not even. I don't know. You would call it live action, the 3G generated one. So.
Yeah, it was. Yeah.
But again, like literally named Scott. Like sometimes, especially villains' names, real on the money.
Yeah,
they were born. Like they had.
Funny you didn't see this coming.
I was Evil McEvilson. How did you not know?
Evil McEvilson. All right. What else? Gravity Ghost, playing some of that on PS4.
Oh, that's such a great game.
Oh, you're playing? Okay, yes. So it's
yeah.
fun, and you get the different abilities. You can terraform little planetoids. Yeah, that's good stuff. So how far are you in? And I'm maybe an hour or two.
I haven't. I mean, I played it when it was first relaunched. I know that the developer just re-released it on PlayStation 4, and I think she had maybe she had like a deluxe version. But I played it. I think I pretty much finished it when it first came out. It's just such a chill game and just so different and interesting. So I think I've almost finished it.
The cutscenes are good. The voiceovers are very well done. Yeah, just very, very well done game.
Absolutely.
And of course, the two games that I just can't stop playing: Mystic Vale.
I was gonna say your division, your Vinny character.
Yeah, Mystic Vale and Shards of Infinity. I just can't stop playing them. So, and I showed the girls the actual analog version of Shards, and so got to play some more of that. But those games are just fun, man. It was just like my watch TV, and just like I still want my brain to be doing something game, so I just play it on my phone, play it on tablet, play it on Steam. It's Mystic Vale, man. It's
you kids and not being able to put down your phones and just
it's a movement, and it's a premium game. You just buy it and you own the game. Actually, Ben picked it up. I need to play with Ben. He picked it up. So yeah.
Ben being BC Terps, not being
my cousin.
Arsmective.
Yeah.
I was trying to remember the made up word. So
and Mike J picked it up a couple weeks ago, and so so definitely he knows how to play now because he's beaten me, but. Ben, I'll have to teach Ben how to play, and then he'll beat me too. That's how it goes.
Just think about it. You're like the first gym boss in Pokemon. Like you're the first opponent.
Thanks,
like that's okay.
It's good to know where you stand, right?
I'm just saying you're the one who keeps telling us about how your kids are beating you too. I'm just throwing that out there. Like
you know what? I'm such a good teacher. I'm
right, and not a good player. That's fine.
You know what? I'm just going to shut up now. What have you been playing?
So this was weird. I woke up the weekend before last. I had a free weekend
which was weird.
For you, yeah.
So I was like, sweet, I'm gonna start playing a game. I have all these games, I should play one. I'm gonna play Horizon Zero Dawn because I want to fight robot dinosaurs. And then for the next day and a half, I couldn't find the disc. Like I opened every DVD case I owned. At least I thought I did.
Wait, did you know where the case was?
I had the case. In my hand, I had the case.
Was the game in the PlayStation?
No, it was not in the PlayStation, nor was it in the case.
Okay. All right.
Just as a heads up, though, the reason that it wasn't, the case originally came broken, and I was trying to replace it, I think, at one point.
As cases often do.
Like, it came, when I bought it from Best Buy, like, it had been cracked. So, like, the case is not the best condition. So, anyway, I spend the next day and a half trying to find it. And I eventually go back to my trophies to look at what did I play after I played Horizon Zero Dawn.
Oh,
okay.
Which I apparently had put it in the Final Fantasy 12 case.
You're like Nancy Drew or the Hardy Boys.
Well,
wait, where's your Final Fantasy 12 disc then?
Well, no, the disc that was also in there. I doubled up on it.
Just shoved them both.
But it was one of the collector's cases that I had put, like, it's not on my regular shelf of stuff.
But that's the surefire way of not remembering where your disc is
exactly. So I finally found it. Like, I thought I had given a friend a PlayStation, my old PlayStation 4 in between. So, like, I texted him, like, do me a favor. Have you ever actually put a disc into that PlayStation 4? Or did I leave Horizon Zero Dawn in there?
You know, the upgraded version that includes the DLC has been...
But like, I bought the DLC separately.
Oh, yeah, me too.
I already owned the DLC.
I was going to say, it might have
and
been...
again, I did all this to save $15. Like, I should have just gone and bought the digital copy. But I eventually found my copy. And for the last, like, 6 days, that's all I played. I ended up platinuming it, plus platinuming the DLC. The only thing I didn't do was the extra hard mode.
Wow, that's quite an accomplishment for, like, a week.
Well, that's the thing. Like, you go look at the time I spent. It's way too much time on this game. But, like, I went and did all this. Like, halfway through, I was like, I'm going to do every side quest. Go find all the stupid metal flowers and the vessels, which are really just mugs. And all this dumb stuff you have to go fight. And, like, stuff would kind of glitch at points because it'd be like so you have to, like, fight the robots are all divided into certain categories. And, like, there was one achievement that wasn't popping. And I'm like, literally, there's a story mission where I have to fight this kind of robot. And I've already passed that. Why isn't... So they're like, oh, you have to go do this. So, like, at that point, I was already 70%. I'm like, I'm not going to now stop. Like, I'm going to... So I went through and played as Aloy. And I did the Frozen Wilds, which is the expansion. Where... So, like, the original game is a lot of, like, either woodland animals as robots, and there's a whole story thing, or the machine that's creating them also likes mega fauna, which is like T-Rexes. So there are T-Rex robots in here, and you're like, okay, but when they add the Frozen Wilds in, they add in a Firefox, a giant bear robot, and I'm like, oh god. These things are all just killing me all the time. But by the end, I was like, I could destroy anything I wanted. Like, that game's great. Like, if you haven't played it, we've already talked about the price multiple times. It's $15 for, like, 60 hours worth of game. There are problematic points, and this was the same as when the game came out. They used the term savage to refer to a whole part of... In the game, this is post-apocalypse. Like, this is millions of years... or hundreds of thousands of years in the future after the world's been destroyed. So, like, our version of humanity is gone and the world's been repopulated. But they have pieces of knowledge from our time. And then also, like, even though they're in the Bronze Age kind of idea, they're fighting robot dinosaurs. So they have part, like, it's like no one has, they only have guns if they can break them off of some of the robots. Like, they don't develop their own guns, but they have access to, like, a machine gun because they got it off of a Deathbringer, they call it, which is just like it looks like a Metal Gear. Like, it's just like, hey, this is Kojima's throwaway artwork.
A walking tank.
A walking tank.
a Metal Gear. And I mean, the big thing about it though is the whole story is essentially my living nightmare, because it's, hey, what if our technology was misconfigured and it killed us all? So we all died because IT sucked. And that's essentially like the AI swarm gets out of control and stops responding to commands. And so Zero Dawn, and I guess spoilers, kind of, not really. Zero Dawn is the code name for, oh, we're going to repopulate the world after the robots essentially go into hibernation. But like humanity.
Why would robots hibernate?
Well, because the robots.
It's called recharging.
No.
Okay.
So the robots.
That works for me, Lou.
in this story, the robots are able to convert biomass to create additional robots. So once they are out of control and like no longer responding, they will destroy.
Their arms are flailing wildly.
Yes, they will destroy the ecosystem. They're going to take up all the microbial life in the oceans. They're going to destroy the ozone, like, because they're just going to constantly recreate until they make this a barren wasteland essentially. And then at that point, nothing's there for them to eat. So they're going to go into hibernation, essentially like low power mode, until there's something there to eat.
How will they know? Okay, I'm sorry.
Like passive sensors.
Okay.
Okay, don't tell me that your computer and your electronics have never just spontaneously turned on, and you're like, "What the hell just happened?"
Yeah,
like Siri and whatnot. So anyway, in this, it's weird that humanity is being killed by technology. So their plan is, we're going to build a robot AI to restart the ecosystem, and then at that point, at one like that, Siri is literally listening right now, knowing all the plans. And it's gonna rebuild it, and essentially it'll become Mother Nature because we fucked up the planet so bad, and hopefully at the same time one of its modules is working through decrypting the shutdown codes for the robots, so that by the time it's going to introduce humanity back into the ecosystem, the AI can also turn off the rogue robots that ate everything. And that's why like they have robot animals, because the AI was like, oh, I'm going to use nature or inspiration from nature to rebuild, like detox. They're going to use the alligator robots to detoxify water. They're going to use the bird robots to detoxify the air. But then it turns out that shit happens, and oh wait, these robots all turn evil, because that's always what happens, and you have to kill them all. And like I mean, it's probably not practical. Again, it's the same idea as why a Metal Gear is really not practical. A walking tank, like, treads are really great. Why do you ever need legs? But it was real fun. Like, I thought the game was good. The story was a lot of fun. I enjoyed the heck out of it. Both it and its expansion. And the expansion works well if you're playing through the game. And
you said you had platinumed it, so you played everything.
I did 64 hours, I think, was on by Tuesday. So I played 8 days of it. Yeah, like I played a lot.
So 8 times 8 is 64.
Yeah, that I played a lot, and that doesn't include like when I lost progress from like I died or whatever. And anyway,
you're almost happy to play even more. You're like,
Could
you lose my save? Thank you.
I wanted to jump into a game. Like it was either that or go finish the last DLC for Spider-Man, and I just didn't feel like doing that yet. So I was like, I'm going to do this, and I kind of want to play Mafia 3. I'm going to restart Mafia 3 since I didn't finish it. But anyway, so I did that. Other games I started, I've been listening to Watch Out for Fireballs, which is another podcast. I know, cheating on this one. And they have a set of podcasts on Final Fantasy IV and then the After Years on the PSP, and you can play it on the Vita. So I started playing that. We've talked about this before. I owned a Super Nintendo for like 5 minutes. So like I didn't play those games when I was growing up. My parents didn't like consoles, Lou. They PCs were fine because that's how you get a job.
He said the key word was tasteful.
But not allowed to have consoles. And then I'm finally using Game Pass. Devil May Cry. So well, I mean, I've been part of Game Pass, but
you just weren't using it. Oh, I understand.
like there just wasn't a whole lot there that I hadn't already had. Like I downloaded Monster Hunter, but I never actually started it. But Devil May Cry joined Game Pass this last week, I want to say, and Devil May Cry 5 was a game I was looking forward to playing. So I started on the Xbox One. That game's pretty. I think it's kind of boring, but it's very pretty. Hopefully, it'll get more interesting as I get further into it. But I also thought back. I think the last I only think I beat Devil May Cry 1. I don't think I've ever actually finished any of the other ones.
You never played DMC?
Oh no, I did finish DMC. You're right. I was thinking of like, I didn't finish 2, I didn't finish 3, and I didn't finish
3
4.
was the one that was like ridiculously hard to a point where it wasn't fun, right?
Yeah.
That's my excuse for not finishing.
Well, but then they also re-released it, which had a mode that was easier, if I remember correctly.
There was something about it, but I
yeah.
never finished
But I mean, Devil May Cry 1 came out my
Dante,
freshman year of college, and like we played through that. That's another game in the dorm we all played through. So, so we'll see. I'll give it a shot, see how it goes. And I downloaded a couple other things because like Aaron, you talked about this what's the Island Express?
Yoku's Island Express.
Yeah, that's on
Great
Game Pass now too.
Yeah.
I'd like to get on a Switch, but if I have access to it for free,
I think Donnie got all the gamer score in it.
So
I didn't get all. I beat it. I didn't get all the gamer score though.
So I downloaded a couple other things on. I also started Outer Wilds, but that game did not grab me at all.
I confused that with Outer Worlds.
Yeah, which looks amazing, but
that's the Fallout. That's the Obsidian. Hey, we're making Fallout in space, but we can't call it Fallout.
Well,
exactly.
yeah.
Well, they should because they make the best Fallout games.
I need to go back and play New Vegas. I've been saying that for years, but I'll be honest. You know the bug where the guy's head rotates? That happened to me, and I was like, I got something else to do. I was like, you know.
So I mean, but this one is the one where like you're in a spaceship and you go to like differently generated planets, and it's about tones. And I was like, okay, cool. And I just put it down. So, which is great about Game Pass because it only cost me the cost of my Game Pass. So, which is
like $1 for like 3 years, right?
Yeah. There's other stuff that I will get the value out of. So.
No, okay. I mean, even if but I've already gotten the value for my $1, so I'm good.
Yep. So yeah, I mean that's really what I've been playing that I can think of. And then some more Star Wars Battlefront because it's just a pretty game on Xbox, and I'll launch it whenever I'm bored and I have some time. So yeah, we'll do news real quick. Unfortunately, GameStop laid off over 100 people this week.
Yeah.
Including half the staff for Game Informer, is my understanding. So at least most of their editorial staff, and new staff, which stinks.
So I guess what are the expectations for the rest of the staff? Are they still going to be able to put out a magazine? I don't.
I'm holding the last issue, which is it's always kind of sad to then read Andy
McNamara.
He's like, did he know when he wrote this that this was going to happen? That's just hard, you don't want to know. It just sucks because it's not their fault, right? It's not Game Informer's fault that GameStop was having they weren't agile enough. They're moving too slow, and this sucks.
They had a longer run than most, but because they had the GameStop tie-in, but that came to an end.
But I have to wonder. So their circulation numbers were Game Informer was a huge for just a magazine, ignoring the gaming part. But that was because it was tied to, hey, you got your GameStop, whatever. But that stopped 2 years ago. That it was no longer part of your GameStop rewards program.
Yeah.
If you signed up for GameStop rewards, you didn't get Game Informer. That was an extra $15 on top of signing up. So I don't know what Game Informer's numbers are now to reflect that. And I know they have a bigger web presence. I watch Replay every Friday when I can.
Yeah.
But it stinks to see and especially they have people at Gamescom and they're like, you're laid off. What?
Excuse me.
I'm on travel for you.
Well, we're not paying for your flight home.
Well, that's already scheduled. So yes.
So long. Good luck.
I don't recall saying good luck.
So, but like, and then yeah, like Marfi Favi I think was on vacation, and like that sucks.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, I hopefully people land on their feet. But that was not a good, never a good thing. Then Crystal Dynamics finally showed off the Avengers gameplay. If you watched 18 minutes of the intro,
Yeah, it's the same intro they showed at E3 though.
it is, but it actually has like it's not just the pre-rendered cutscenes now. You actually are playing, like, in theory, those button presses and whatnot are what you're doing in that game. I'm still confused because I thought I remember hearing someone say this was supposed to be like a live game, like a Destiny with Marvel superheroes. So
that sounds interesting.
How there's a, I don't know if you guys ever read Runaways, but at the beginning of the Runaways comic, they show an MMO for in the Marvel universe, which is just everyone playing Marvel superheroes. Like, oh, there's like 3 invisible women and that kind of stuff. And like, I'd love that game to exist. And it did. It was called Marvel Heroes, and they shut it down. But like, I don't know how this is supposed to work as a live game. For what they showed.
Well, I mean, I think that from what I gathered from I haven't watched the new video, but from when you're left at the end at the E3 presentation, it was the feeling that the Avengers, somebody needs to replace the Avengers, and that's where your characters come in to pick up the slack. That's what I gathered.
Oh, is it, you're gonna have like a created character?
That's what I thought. That's what I could be totally wrong, but that's what it felt like.
Okay, I thought, because like they show the Ant-Man Hank Pym, like, oh hey, he's gonna be a first cat like DLC character.
Yeah, X-Men Destiny is not a good direction to go in.
And like I'm like, oh okay, so this will be like a new class, like. But I thought you were playing as like, yeah, I guess I don't know. We'll see. The gameplay looked like a third person adventure game. Like, oh man, you're Thor, you fly, you throw your hand. Like, Thor did some cool stuff. Like, if he wanted to incapacitate an enemy, you see him throw his hammer, and the hammer just like sticks the guy to the wall or whatever that he's now pressed up against. But then on the other hand, Thor doesn't have his hammer anymore. So like,
right.
Like, what version of Thor is this? I don't know.
The Thor who needs the hammer, I guess.
Well, right, like is it like, yeah, it's not MCU, like, you're not the Lord of Hammers. Ha ha ha. Thank you, Anthony Hopkins. Anyway, we'll see. The gameplay, the footage is interesting, but I'm very confused. It also always seemed to indicate Captain America is the one who dies. But then you are supposed to be able to play as Captain America.
But maybe just in that scene, no, that's it.
Well, I mean, as a comic guy, and yeah, I know this is real. They mentioned in the thing that the new helicarrier that the Avengers are running runs off of Terrigen crystal, which is the stuff that gives the Inhumans their powers. So that seems stupid.
I thought the Inhumans just ate the moon land, the moon Earth, and just
no, they have to. What is gasify? Like, I'm trying to think of how you change a solid to a gas, whatever that word is, transmagrify. And they breathe in the Terrigen mist, and that's what causes their mutation or their change.
Okay.
But if this is in a world where they don't know about Inhumans yet, and Tony's like, oh, I found this great new crystal, let me go throw it in the reactor. And it seems to like it just turns into the mist, and that maybe you're all right. It is a create a character, and everyone's an Inhuman, and Marvel's doubling down on Inhumans again.
Yeah.
Because that TV show went super well. So anyway, we'll see. I don't know, but yeah, I heard that. I was like, that's a weird thing to use for your power source. Anyway, so that Avengers Gamescom had a bunch of other stuff. We already talked about Disintegrator. Disintegration, sorry. Nina, there's an open alpha for Modern Warfare coming this weekend. Erica, which is the follow-up to Celeste? No. What's the video where it's the sister, like the crime? You're watching the video clips.
Her Story?
Her Story, yes.
Oh, I didn't realize it was
the next one from the Her Story people, I believe.
Oh, okay.
And Kerbal Space Program 2 got announced, which is super weird.
Didn't see that one coming.
Yeah, from a different developer, still being put out by 2K. and Jeff Keighley is going to be in Death Stranding, which I still have no idea what Death Stranding is.
I'm here. People are saying things about walking simulation.
Well, that's what he said at one point.
I didn't watch any of the new stuff. I probably should have, but I didn't.
Is Jeff Keighley going to be one of the babies in the jar?
No, so his character's name is Mama.
Yep.
All right, I'm leaning back into my chair. You can hear my voice fading away as I
don't care anymore.
What you're about to say.
So I don't know what that's all I know. I didn't even watch that part yet. So
yeah, skip that.
Yeah, so I don't know. There's some interesting stuff. People got their hands on The Witcher 3 Wild Hunt on Switch, and
Must be a technical miracle.
Yeah, playing The Witcher 3 on the Switch is a rough ask. And then the last thing, they put out a new trailer for the Amico, the Intellivision console.
I know that Tommy Tallarico has to sell this thing. I get it. But his whole thing about how, like, I felt like it was the Wii all over again. Controllers are too complicated. People don't do anything with their families. This will change everything. Like, I don't think that. Like,
yes, there was a lot of that.
Has anybody seen Peter Molyneux lately? Maybe there's been some sort of
transference
guy.
It was just a little hyperbolic. Like, you could sell this without sounding like you're like that. None of that's true. Like, stop. So PlayStation 4 is sold 100 million units. Games are too complicated. No, they're not. Okay. People are okay.
I mean, there is an argument to games are like controllers are complicated for like someone who wants to get it, but that's why consoles are by no means the only way of entry to video games anymore. Like phones are easily the largest platform for gaming today. Like, and that's all the Amico controllers are. Like, they're just like little Android candy bars. So
Mystic fail.
So the other weird thing was, and they didn't show this in there, this is also the platform that's supposed to have an exclusive Earthworm Jim on it.
How does that work with the little? I know they're going for something simplistic, but Earthworm Jim was not an easy game to play.
Exactly.
Like I don't know what casual no.
So
followed up with The Lion King and Aladdin and The Jungle. Those were the hardest games. So mean.
So yeah, like I watched that trailer. I was like, okay. And then there was a Stadia presentation with nothing added. So
I think it just caused more people to cancel their pre-order.
Question why they had it pre-ordered. So, Aaron, did you put this 360 update on here?
Yeah, apparently there was a 360 update that came out.
Huh.
Yep.
And is the Apple Card one that you put on here? You're not allowed to put your Apple Card in your denim or
anything.
Other cards, air,
That's pretty funny.
You must keep it in its vacuum seal.
I mean, remember the whole thing like you're holding the phone wrong. No, it's your card was adjacent to the wrong objects. Apple kills me with this stuff.
It's a credit card?
Yep.
Yeah, it's the Apple backed credit card.
What difference does that make versus any other chipped card?
That's a good question.
Apparently, they're making one that can't touch denim.
Or other cards.
Or loose change. So
people are like acting like it's revelatory that, man, their interest rate isn't the best ever. Why would it be? Like, that's not what they're doing this for.
Like, what do you get out of it? Like, points towards your next phone?
Or points towards Apple products.
I think it reserves your space in line while you're waiting to get your phone.
There you go.
The more you spend, the fact.
If you put $87,000 on your Apple credit card, you get to be 50th in line.
That's right. See?
You could enter it into a drawing for a $25 gift card. You know what I mean? Like,
but you have to take the survey first. So.
Exactly.
If you do sign up for the card, Apple recommends putting it in a wallet, pocket, or bag made of soft materials. Apple also suggests cleaning the titanium card by wiping it with a microfiber cloth that has been moistened with isopropyl alcohol.
God,
that is so pretentious and stupid. Like, it's a card.
They're leaning into the stereotype, right?
Yeah.
Are they winking and nodding? Like, what are they doing?
They're taking it seriously though, so that's the problem.
Don't bend the card. Like, shut up.
Dude, once you run it through one machine, it will no longer work. So your card will self-destruct after you
feed
hit
it
your
3
limit.
drops of your blood every evening at 10:15.
Well, that's how you authenticate to it. It's definitely going to use blood for authentication. So
it's going to go the Seymour route for authentication.
So, but anyway, I think we should probably wrap up. We've been doing this for 2 hours. And to wrap up, let's start with shout outs and whatnot from Lou.
Oh, so is this the part where we say thank you to like each other, or what do we
however, whoever, like, if you want to give shout outs to your coworkers, maybe people that make your annual tournament really run well, like, whoever you feel like, people running one of your largest markets, like, I mean, whoever you want to start shout outs to.
I'd like to give myself a shout out for I'm kidding. No, really, a shout out to everybody who's going to work hard to play some board games to kind of launch the Extra Life fundraising season this weekend. We're having a really cool group in Milwaukee, Madison, playing games at the historic Gary Gygax house.
Oh, very cool.
So they'll be playing D&D all day, like 10 a.m. to 10 p.m. Central Time. And we will be sharing them on our official channel as a nod to how you can play games and raise money for your local children's hospital. So, yay tabletop gaming! Yay IRL experiences! Hooray!
Oh yes, hooray indeed!
Gotcha.
That's the best way to play games.
That's right, man.
Just saying.
Okay.
That's all I got.
Okay. What about you, Mike?
I, of course, as always, encourage folks who are eligible to donate blood, and if you have any pets, to have them spayed or neutered.
Gotcha.
Aaron, what do you got?
Well, this is a slightly different outline, so half the stuff I usually have here is gone, but I'll do my best. Thank you to Lou for joining us and giving us his time. We appreciate it. Thank you to the folks who jumped into the chat. Thank you all. And if you want to leave a voicemail for the show, you can leave it at 202-573-7686. You can also email us at podcast@GameEnthus.com. And check out the YouTube channel or GameEnthus.com to see a lot of the videos that are going up of games that I'm playing horribly and talking over them while I'm playing them. So that's it for me.
Gotcha. And yeah, I'll finish this up. Again, thank you to Lou. And hey, I'll be at Keystone Comic Con with Extra Life Philadelphia this weekend. So if you're in the Philadelphia area, you should stop by the Pennsylvania Convention Center in Center City, Philadelphia.
And you should sign up, share on social media.
There's a good chance you've already signed up, but yes, you should share this on social media because Philadelphia 800 strong so far. Oh yeah, no, I'm not immortal. But yes, we're doing 200 signups this weekend. We as Lou already mentioned, it is Tabletop Appreciation Weekend, and in the Philadelphia area, Top Deck Games, Gundam, Palladium, and 3 other stores that I'm forgetting their names right now are all running events for us, and you can check that out at Team Annabelle. They'll be running that and starting prep for their 24 hours in November as well. But they're running like a board game auction, Magic, Warhammer Kill Team, and something else. And then another company has also rented out a bar down the street from Top Deck Games to do demos for their escape room board game that seats between like 8 and 32 people and can run for like 45 minutes to 8 hours.
That's crazy.
They were very unspecific about how long they needed. So, check that out. If you go to Team Annabelle, extra-life.org/Team Annabelle, or search Team Annabelle on Facebook, you can see all the information, and that'll also be up in the Philadelphia Extra Life. Check those out. And other than that, I think we're out of here. So, Aaron, we good?
Yeah, Lou, any final words?
Appreciate y'all. I'm glad to be back and hope to come back another time.
Oh, you'll always be welcome, sir.
Yeah, I mean, especially when you're in Philadelphia. So.
I hear it's always sunnier there. I don't know.
Okay.
Yeah,
I mean, if you want to meet Danny DeVito, we can make that happen. Like, if that's
I don't know. We should be making these kind of promises, especially on these here internets.
You have my interest. I want to meet Danny DeVito. Are you kidding me?
I want to meet Danny DeVito.
Can I meet Rhea Perlman instead? Is that okay?
Oh, that's the opposing bar, right?
Oh,
We'll have to meet up.
I should also say, much like The Office, I've never actually watched an episode of Always Sunny in Philadelphia.
Boo.
See, I think now you just don't watch The Office because now that it's so popular, you feel like it's you're like counterculture.
I'm a hipster.
I've never seen The Office. I don't know who Jim or Pam are.
I more mention it because of how much you push The Office on me.
But it's hilarious.
So, you know what I just finished watching. And this is weird. So actually, a couple of my shows are going off the air. Suits is finishing up on USA.
You watch Suits?
I've watched Suits since day one.
You've watched Suits, but you won't watch The Office.
That show is great.
You still have a problem. A
lot of fun. What else does Elementary, the Sherlock show that was on CBS? My mom
watches that. That's pretty good.
Like, I also, since PBS has been running the Sherlock Holmes BBC shows, I've been rewatching those. That show's awesome. Benedict Cumberbatch, which he's never going to come back to that show because he's way too big for it now.
Benedict Cumberbatch.
But I mean, there are shows I watch. They're just not like Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. is having their last season. So,
wait,
did you watch Community?
Is Nick Fury going to?
I didn't watch any of those comedies.
Parks and Rec.
I did. Like I said, I didn't watch any of those comedies.
30 Rock.
Yeah, no.
I give up.
They weren't what I was looking for. I don't know what you want me to
tell.
You
were looking for Suits. Okay.
The Expanse. I'm trying. What was the Harry Potter? But they're all like postgraduate students on sci-fi. God,
you lost me.
The Librarians?
No.
Spider Ice Truckers? That's the only thing I know about.
No, God damn it. It's in my head. I was reading the books too. Quentin Caldweller is the main character.
The Fantastic Beasts?
No, but I did watch the second one of those, and that was pretty good too.
Yeah, I started it, but I didn't get a chance to finish it. Heard it was good though.
The Magicians. That's it.
Oh, Magicians.
The Magicians, which is a great show. Like, you should watch that show. It was a lot of fun.
That's the one I was thinking of, not the Librarians. And you're right.
The Librarians is terrible. Like, I watched the Librarians. I started watching the Librarians. That's the Noah Wyle. Like,
you should watch Conan the Librarian.
It got
That's
bad. So, anyway, we consume different media. That's all.
I realized that The Office, Community, Parks, none of those have like any kind of sci-fi or anything to it. So you're like,
Like, I watched the second season of Discovery, Star Trek. I really enjoyed the second season.
I still need to watch it. I say that like every week. But
it was great. Like, go watch it. And Picard's coming. Like, I'm up.
Yeah, Picard does look good. Yeah.
So, anyway, but we should get out of here.
Yeah.
Because everyone's got stuff to do tomorrow.
Lou has to get some sleep and pick me up in the morning at 5 o'clock. So
Lou's 2 hours behind us. It's only like 9 o'clock his time. So,
come on, Lou.
Sorry, I'll do better next time.
Well, it's why. Actually, you know what? One thing, Aaron, you might want to yell at Lou for when he schedules the Extra Life meetings at the exact same time we record.
I only did that once.
Well, it is the man's full-time job, so I can't really be mad at him.
The last one I was on while we were on with Asif, I had it in one ear, and I signed off early, and that's when apparently you started talking about me.
I did. I was calling you out. Sorry.
Which, again, I'm touched. Aaron's saying the Baltimore Guilds talks about me all the time, and I assume it's all good. So
actually, it was, yeah.
So it's
Red spoke very highly of you.
Yeah, Red's good people. He's one of the Tories Angels. So, but anyway, yeah. So, like, hey, again, like, an East Coast position just opens up and pays $200,000 a year, and I'm right there. So,
you know, we're a nonprofit, right?
Right. I'm not looking to make a profit. I'm just trying to live to a life I'm not actually accustomed to, but I'll say I am.
You're taking a pay cut.
How am I going to catch up to Asif with his 2 Teslas? If I,
At least 2.
Yeah. that whole story last week or 2 weeks ago. So I bought my second one.
I threw it in the pile of the other Teslas and thought to myself, what am I doing?
And I love you, Austin. It was a good story. Anyway, we should go.
Yeah. Have a good night, everybody.